Supply. We have all the supplies you need for your next oil change at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
The wrap-up the year sales event is on at Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat on the Pike. How about 2023 Fiat 500X, $22,990. 2023 Jeep Renegade, $24,990. 2023 Jeep Wrangler Rubicon 4XE, $499 a month. 2023 Grand Wagoneer 111 4x4, $10,000 off. And 2023 Dodge Charger SXT, $28,990. Now that's the best holiday list you'll find anywhere, and we guarantee it. So drive past the rest and come to the best at Gossett on the Pike, or shop online at GossettMotorCars.net.
If you want it, we Gossett at Gossett Motorcars.
2023 Fiat 500X, stock number PP990492, MSRP 31355, Renegade PPP 75091, MSRP 30040, Wrangler MSRP 69870, Wagoneer PS 508331, MSRP 112285, Charger PH 636172, MSRP 35825, includes all rebates and incentives, PF 695, excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 12/31/23 with approved credit, dealer stock only.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253 DF Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
It's time to get up and get your day started.
Morant. Oh! A jawbreaker!
It's Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. The first hour of Sports 56 Mornings is brought to you by East Memphis Ace Hardware at the corner of White Station and Quince. Now, here are your hosts, Greg and Eli.
They get up every morning from the alarm clocks, one and take the 8:15 into the city.
It is finally here. One more show of talking about the matchup, previewing the game. But today they'll kick off just after 2:30 at Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium, the 2023 AutoZone Liberty Bowl game between the hometown team, the University of Memphis, and the Cyclones from Iowa State. We welcome you into Sports 56 Mornings on this Friday, December 29th, 2023, our final show of 2023. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, Zach Boyd with you from the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure, where family and fun come together. 2120 Witten Road, just north of I-40. First hour of the program also brought to you by East Memphis Ace Hardware. Temperature-wise, little light snow this morning, 37 degrees, but we're looking at mainly partly cloudy today with a high of only 42. So bundle up as you head out to watch the game today. Mostly clear skies tonight with a low around the freezing mark of 32. Tomorrow for your Saturday, a few clouds with a high getting up to 51 degrees. Coming up on the program today, John Varlas joins us as he does every Friday in studio at 7:25 from the Daily Memphian. Well, the Tiger basketball report at 8:25 with the professor Matt Dillon. Tigers return to action tomorrow night as they host Austin Peay at 6 o'clock at FedEx Forum, their final non-conference game of the regular season. Brandon Lang at 9:05 will handicap some of the big bowl games, the NFL weekend, week number 17 if you're scoring at home, which got underway last night. And then at 9:25, we'll talk with our friend Sean Merriman, the former three-time NFL All-Pro linebacker and founder of Lights Out MMA on Fubo Sports, another big event coming up in early January out in California. But we'll talk to Sean as well about what's happening with the National Football League. As I mentioned, the second to last regular season in the week in the NFL kicked off last night. We'll talk about that. College bowl games aplenty. And the Grizzlies take one on the chin last night. Ja not able to go because of an illness. And that one was over before it started as the Nuggets crushed the Grizzlies. Those are the topics and some other ones as well that we'll be discussing on the program today. And you can always hit us up on the Sports 56 listener lines by calling in or texting in at 901-360-8255. You can message us on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, on the website, sportsmemphis.com. Plenty of Iowa State fans in town. Maybe some have stumbled onto the show and want to give us your opinion on what you think the Cyclones will do today. They're a 10.5-point favorite to knock off the Tigers. It's a matchup that happened in 2017. Of course, the names are different. That was a 21-20 thriller won by Iowa State. And again, today, Iowa State expected to win, according to Vegas, at 10.5 points. Eli, how are you? Ready for the bowl game today?
I guess so.
You'll be inside. You don't have to worry about anything.
Well, I got to be down on the field before the game.
Oh.
And I'm a little. It's gonna be cold down there. I'm hoping it's not raining and or snowing at that point. But it's gonna be chilly down there.
Big Chicago man over here, Zach. Big Chicago man. He's going to be down there for 5 minutes to wave to the crowd, then go up into the
Actually, I'll be down
cushy
there.
press box.
I'll probably be down there for about a half hour.
I'll be down there for 4 hours.
Hey,
I will be freezing.
Good luck to you.
I know.
I'm
Look,
glad
I don't
I'm not
blame
you.
you.
I got the long johns.
I don't blame you, Eli.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. See, the other problem I have is like, I'm going to go inside. So, like, if I'm all bundled up to go down to the field, then I go inside. Then I'm like, I don't know how to dress for this thing.
Like the Liberty Bowl is a big wind tunnel. Like once,
It is.
Once the wind gets inside that bowl, it's circulating.
Yes,
it's not
it
letting
is.
go until it wants to let up.
Believe me, I know. I got long johns. I got a couple of layers. I'm worried about my big old jacket because the zipper's broken. So I got to figure out what I'm doing with this big old jacket. I don't want to have to wear my dress jacket out there on the sideline, but I don't know. Look, it is what it is. Once the game starts, you kind of get into it. Even if you're not playing in the game, even if you're just covering the game, you kind of get into it as well. And hopefully it'll be a good game. I know Zach's wearing his blue hoodie, so certainly his alma mater, the University of Memphis. Or maybe that was just coincidence you put it on today.
It's a little bit of both.
Okay. Are you going to the game, by the way?
No, I won't be.
Is it got good insulation? Can I
Yes.
borrow it?
Very much so.
Well, you'll need more than a hoodie, believe me, if you're heading out to the stadium. So again, today, all the festivities getting underway, and gosh, just several hours. They'll have that big pregame meal, that big buffet that they have, which is really, really neat. And then
That's going to be the highlight of my day. I think that's going to be the pregame buffet.
Are you going to that?
I am indeed.
What do they serve up? It's been years since I
don't know. I'll tell you later today.
Okay. Because I don't know what we're going to get in the press box, but it probably won't be as good as that buffet. All you can eat, all you can drink. I'm sure you're going to partake in that a little bit. So, again, if you're heading on out there, be extremely cautious with the cold. But, again, we're not talking about 20 degrees. There's not a foot of snow on the ground. Get on out there. Support your team or teams, right? If you're an Iowa State fan, you're here to go to the game. You're going to the game. If you're a Memphis fan, we'll see. Hopefully you'll go out there and support the team. Yesterday was the parade. I think it was Iowa State heavy, let's just say, as far as the fandom that was there on Beale Street. They took it in. They were over at AutoZone Park for a pep rally. They were there for that. I don't think it will be as large a crowd as it was for Iowa State in 2017, but they still have a nice contingent that have come from Ames and other places to support their Cyclones. It's the Tiger fans I'm a little bit worried about. In 2017, it was a big deal to play in that game, and the crowd reflected it. I think there was 57,000 and change announced. I'm hoping that it will be a great crowd today. Always seems to be a good crowd for the AutoZone Liberty Bowl game, but a lot of times you have a regional SEC team playing, whether it be an Ole Miss in Arkansas and Mississippi State, and you get huge crowds because of that. But hopefully the hometown team gets the support that they deserve as they are going for a 10th win. That has only happened 4 times previously in the history of the school. Again, as I mentioned, Iowa State is a 10.5-point favorite. They'll kick off just after 2:30. There have been opt-outs by both teams, but not a ton. Memphis loses a couple of offensive linemen that are starters and a defensive back. It looks like Iowa State, as far as I know, the only opt-out of real significance, TJ Tampa, the All-American corner, and the only starter that's opting out. But they've got about 10 guys, 11 guys that have opted out, maybe a few more. Memphis, according to Ryan Silverfield, met with the coaches yesterday, about 16 or 17 guys that some of the guys that you're not even familiar with the names that are on the team looking for a new refreshing start somewhere around the country. So that's kind of what it is. We'll talk more about this game as we move along today. We'll go over the other bowl games as well.
Crazy thing is the high in Ames, Iowa today is actually scheduled to be 42.
Get out of here.
So they are their fans are not getting any warmer by being here than they would be back home in Ames, Iowa today.
Wow. In fact, Ames might have Memphis by a degree or two. Last night on the hardwood in Denver, the Nuggets, the defending champions, destroyed the Grizzlies 142-105, ending the Grizzlies' 4-game winning streak. All 4 of those wins coming since the return of Ja Morant. But once we got word yesterday, caught wind, that Ja Morant was out. Also, Santi Aldama key reserve out, it was done. It was over. You didn't have to watch. For maybe a quarter and change, the Grizzlies hung in there, and then the Nuggets put their foot down. 142 points in a 142-105 win over the Grizzlies. How good is Nikola Jokic? He was perfect. He was perfect from the field. 26 points. Hit 11 of 11 from the field, 1 of 1 from 3, 3 of 3 from the free throw line, 14 rebounds, 10 assists for another triple-double. Man, he's good. Des Bane led the Grizz with 23, hit 9 of 13. Good percentage, just didn't take as many shots as he probably needed to. But the Grizzlies were out-rebounded 53-36. Big difference right there. Second chance opportunities, but the boards were dominated by Denver, as you would imagine. Tonight in Los Angeles against the Clippers. Don't know the status. If they don't have Ja, they're in trouble. Let's just put it that way. You got a chance with Ja, a good chance, in fact, against a lot of teams. Without Ja, pretty much no chance.
Yeah, I actually, if I had been the Grizzlies, once it was done that Ja was not going to play, I think Desmond Bane would have been sick for that game. Jaren Jackson Jr. would have been sick for that game. Marcus Smart would have been sick for that game. I don't know why you play those guys on the first of a back-to-back. There was no way you were going to win the game. I would have rested.
No way you're winning.
I would have sat everybody. Well, at least those guys, the key guys. I mean, because the load they've had to, Smart's coming back from injury, so just the back-to-back, I would kind of want him. You'd want to probably watch his minutes anyway. But then Jaren and Desmond, with the load they've had to bear so far this year, I would have. We'd have been putting out the Memphis Hustle last night if I would have the Grizzlies. Once Ja was out, yeah, y'all take the night off. We ain't winning this game.
Yeah, and when you throw in the fact that they're playing again tonight, right? So you combine all that with a Denver team that's full strength, with the exception of Aaron Gordon. We know Gordon was out with the unfortunate situation with the dog and the dog bite. But yeah, I'm with you 100%. Now, I'm still a little bit fuzzy when it comes to that rule with the NBA, because yesterday, who was it? Was Mikal Bridges with the Nets that had that situation with the gambling, where Mikal Bridges has a streak going, and I don't know what the number is, but he's played in so many consecutive games. And so the word got out that I don't know if it was just an educated guess on good gamblers, who thought this through, but there was a recent game where Bridges played early in the game and then was pulled because he wasn't 100%, but they wanted to keep the streak going. So they kind of caught on to that yesterday, that was going to be the case with Mikal Bridges. And so they started betting, and then all of a sudden, after a while, they took the bets down. And I'm not sure if that was on every site, but they took them down because they figured that was going to happen again. So everybody bet unders, under points, under rebounds, all that stuff. And some people really did well as far as that's concerned. But Bridges ended up playing a little bit to keep the streak going. So my question to you...
Smart betting.
Yeah, but my question to you is, if they're not listed on the original injury list, when do we get into the load management? You're not really injured. The NBA is going to come down on you. How does that work? For example, with the Grizzlies yesterday, we know that Ja was listed, but early on, I guess maybe it was a question mark on whether or not he could go, and maybe they waited until the last second. I don't know. But then your suggestion, which I completely agree, if I had a choice, I would have done the same thing. But would you have gotten hit with any type of fine from the league?
Well, first of all, they could have easily done it because they've got this illness going around. So you could just easily say
they got it at the last second.
They got sick today,
and then they return around and they're playing tonight. Yeah, you don't think the NBA would come down on you?
Well, but it's only those are national TV games that the rules mainly apply to.
So you're fine as far as just a regular game.
Yeah, I would just said listen, you could have done illness. Just so happens. We got a bug going around. John Conchar missed last game. We've got Ja, Santi already out this game. Now a couple of other guys have picked it up. They're all sick.
By the way, how do they deal with that on the flights? They had to go from Denver to Los Angeles. You have Ja, who's out with an illness. You have Santi, and I'm not sure what his deal is, but I would assume it's the bug as well. You're going to put him on the same plane? Are you flying them separately? What are you doing as far as trying to keep those guys separated so the whole team doesn't get the bug?
I have no idea.
Because now with the loss, the Grizzlies fall to 10-20 with a big game tonight. Again, if there's no Ja, that's going to be trouble because the Clippers have played extremely well over the last several weeks, 2-3 weeks with James Harden, and we were all suspect about that move. Sunday, you turn around, you got the Kings at home. You want to be full strength. It's a good team, and you've only won twice at home. So, and Tuesday's a game that you should win against Victor Wembanyama and San Antonio at home, but there's no guarantees. As long as you're full strength, you feel good about those. But if you're not, then you don't. And that's why I wonder how they do that as far as the illnesses are concerned. But either way, Grizzlies fall and again drop to 10-20. In the meantime, all eyes were on Boston last night. Celtics and Pistons. The Celtics went into the game undefeated at home. Best record in the NBA or just the East?
Best record in the NBA.
Best record in the NBA. The Pistons came into the game losers of 27 straight games. So on paper, it's a kill. There's no question. Halftime, the Celtics are trailing by 19 points. And tongue-in-cheek, I tweeted out on X that the Celtics hate the 76ers so much, one of their rivals, that they're allowing the Pistons to win because if the Pistons lose, they will tie the Sixers for the longest losing streak in the NBA in history over the course of 2 seasons, which is 28. Now they've tied it, obviously. But at halftime, again, tongue-in-cheek, but how are you down 19 points to the Pistons? You are undefeated at home. You got the best record in the NBA. It didn't make any sense. And then, of course, the Celtics figured out at halftime, you know what? We're losing by 19 points to these guys, to these jabronis. So they come back, they battle back, they take the lead, give Detroit credit, they fight, they get the Bogdanovich putback at the end of regulation, they tie it, they go to overtime, and, of course, in Pistons style, they lose. Final score, 128-122, the Bostonians.
Yeah, that game shows why it's even more amazing that the Pistons, that anybody would lose 28 straight games. Like, that's a game they have no business even competing in. Like, they were 17-point underdogs, and they give themselves a great opportunity to win the game. Like, you would just think along the line of 28 games, you would win a game just by accident. Like, it's almost by accident.
Win.
But it's that would, if they had ended the streak there, that would have been just insane to think that they would end it on the road against the best team record-wise in the NBA. That would be very, very strange. But lo and behold, they set themselves up once again to make history at home tomorrow night. So the home fans in Detroit get to watch their team either make history or end the streak. So it's a win-win. If you're a Pistons fan tomorrow night at the game, you can either be there for history or you're there for the other history. Hey, your team actually won a game.
Right. You could say you were there. 29 would be the record, and if it's going to fall, it's against the Toronto Raptors. So can they stop the bleeding, and I mean hemorrhaging, or will the record fall with the Toronto Raptors in town tomorrow night? Something to keep an eye on, along with everything else that you'll be watching here over the course of the next few days with lots happening in the world of sports.
It is crazy to be up by 19 at the half and then tied going to the fourth.
I know.
It's a rough third quarter.
Again, first half, you talk about sleepwalking. I mean, Boston must have just roll out the ball, just go through the motions. Like I said, if you're a gambler, you're wondering, are they throwing the game? What is going on here? Down 19 to the Pistons. Bowl games, of course, today, the big one here in Memphis at 2:30, the AutoZone Liberty Bowl game. Also today, Clemson, Kentucky in the Gator, Oregon State, Notre Dame in the Sun, Missouri and Ohio State, an interesting matchup in the Cotton Bowl. Tomorrow, Ole Miss, Penn State a 4.5-point favorite in the Peach. Yesterday, there were 4 games played. In the Fenway, it was Boston College over SMU 23-14. Now, we had the caller at the end of the show, Keith, who had said he thought SMU would win, and I said, absolutely. Well, I had no idea Preston Stone wasn't playing, the quarterback for SMU.
He got hurt for the rest. He's been done for the rest of the year since like week 10 or whatever.
I thought there was a possibility he could play. I was listening to the national radio show this morning coming in.
They were saying they said he was done for the year. Surgery.
Brady Quinn was saying that Preston Stone was a possibility he was playing, and that at the last second he wasn't playing. I don't know. I thought he was. I was under the impression that the guy could play, but SMU ends up losing that game in the rain at the Fenway Bowl. Boston playing basically a home game. Then you had Rutgers and Miami, with Rutgers beating Miami 31-24. Greg Schiano, what a difference he's made in his 2 stints as the Rutgers coach. Like, they're good when he's the coach. They're not good when he's not the coach. But Miami and Mario Cristobal, once again, clock management. The guy's the worst as far as using timeouts, when to use them. Unbelievable. So they lose that game. Then the Pop-Tarts Bowl. Kansas State beat North Carolina State 28-19. The only intrigue for me was to see how they were eating that Pop-Tart at the end.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was an edible mascot too, but that's impressive. The edible mascot is we need more Pop-Tart bowls.
Well, I heard it was an edible mascot, and I'm watching the game, and there's a mascot running around, the Pop-Tart mascot, and I'm going, there's no way that's edible. That is not. So then they did the old trick, or like what do we call it, like a little sleight of hand thing, where he goes into this supposedly toaster, and he comes out, and then it's an edible.
It was a wonderful spectacle.
Giant Pop-Tart.
We need more. We need more of that in the bowl games. That's fun.
Did they devour that thing?
I don't know how much. I don't know how much they ate total, but I mean that's great stuff. That's a giant Pop-Tart. I don't even know. God bless the people at Pop-Tart for being able to make a Pop-Tart that big. I'm not sure how you go about doing that. That thing was massive. That's what bowl games are about. Giant edible mascots.
Giant edible mascots. And there was a lot.
Hey, Steve Earhart, Harold Grader, come up with an edible mascot for the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. I don't care what it is. Find some way to make it a giant rib. I don't care.
How about a chocolate Liberty Bell produced by Dinstall's?
And that's fine too. I don't care. Give me something. Give me a mascot that is edible.
And then finally last night, the conclusion of the 4 games in college football, bowl games. It was Arizona over Oklahoma 38-24. Now, this one piqued my interest. I watched a lot of this game once the Grizzlies were done. Arizona, if I remember correctly, got out to a slow start this year. What a turnaround. They ended up 10-3. They were really good. That quarterback is good. He's not the biggest guy in the world, but he is tough and has a big arm. They are up and coming. Arizona looks really good, and they move into the Big 12. Oklahoma, on the other hand, moving into the SEC, I don't know if Brent Venables is the guy. They started the young stud quarterback. First significant playing time. He's played a little bit this year. He's got a cannon, but man, he was making misreads all throughout that game. He was throwing to the other team. He'll learn. He'll be better. He's a 5-star quarterback. But I just don't know with Venables at Oklahoma. But I do know this. Arizona is good, and I think that's a team to look out for in the future.
They had a good year, no doubt. They lost that the Mississippi State game early in the year. They should have never lost.
Never lost.
And but yeah, to turn around and get 10 wins. Fantastic year. Good for them.
Good for them. Good for everybody down at All-Star Chevrolet, folks. They have had this post-Christmas deal going on right now that you can take advantage of. If you're ready for a new Silverado, All-Star Chevy in Olive Branch has financing down to 1.9%, or up to $10,000 in cash. Plus, make no payment for 90 days. And when you head down there and you check out all the great vehicles, look for the red tags, the red tag deals on the Tahoes, the Equinox, the Trailblazers, and the beautiful Traverse. Families, especially large families, you're going to love that third row seating. Take trips anywhere around the country in luxury. Military, teachers, college students, healthcare workers, you get an extra $500 bonus. If you want a certified pre-owned Chevy or any pre-owned vehicle, All-Star's loaded up. If it's not on the lot, ask Jeff. He'll find it for you. Kevin and Jeff want to wish everybody out there a happy new year. Remember, it's not South Haven, not Mount Moriah, not Bartlett or Collierville. It's got to be Olive Branch. Find new roads to All-Star Chevy today or go to allstarautogroup.com. When we come back, John Varlas joins us. He'll be covering the AutoZone Liberty Bowl game today. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Jenkins Floors and More in Hernando is growing. This family business started up 5 years ago with just one pallet, and now they have hundreds. Tim, the owner, gets calls from people everywhere and can sometimes save them up to 50% on wood flooring, carpet, tile, and vinyl. Jenkins Floors and More helps with renovations, home building, and installation. Jenkins Floors and More, number 6 East Commerce Street in Hernando. Also in Little Rock and coming soon to Tennessee. Call 662-469-9350 for more information.
They're taking care of beerness in Memphis right on the river with Grind City Brewing and all of their great products. Look, this was a dream come true for a father and son duo. And if you have not been to that brewery right on the river, just to the north of downtown, you're really missing something special. And now you can't miss their products. Wherever you go, you see a brand new label. It's clean, it's beautiful, it's distinctive. You'll know Grind City Brewing, and of course you know their products like Poppy's Pills, that great Pilsner, or Tiger Tail, that very creative craft malt liquor. There's the new Thaddeus Amber Lager. That is absolutely a great light beer. There's the India Pale called Godhopper. It's outstanding. And then there's the Belga, the Belgian-style wheat ale. They keep bringing hits at Grind City Brewing.
Check, check. You might already know about the Acura MDX. V6 engine, seat 7. We have an announcement. We swapped that engine with a specially made 3-liter turbo V6, race-tuned the steering and suspension, and for the first time, added Type S performance to an SUV. So we're just gonna drop this right here. The Acura MDX and first ever MDX Type S. Acura, precision crafted performance.
Visit Acura of Memphis to learn more about the Acura MDX and the MDX Type S.
Experience the taste of Italy at Little Italy's newest location in East Memphis at Massey and Poplar. Little Italy has great Italian food with all your favorite dishes, from lasagna, rigatoni vodka, Alfredo, even lobster ravioli. Try Little Italy's very generous hot calzone, stuffed with your choice of meats and melted cheeses. East Memphis Little Italy wants to spoil you with a piece of Italy you can feel, taste, see, enjoy, and eat. East Memphis Little Italy, hidden in the back at the corner of Massey and Poplar.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. Still looks good right now as you leave Collierville on Billmores Parkway 385 coming inbound. A little bit of radar spotted earlier in parts of Fayette County as you come down I-40, especially there around 269. Traffic's on the increase already at times. 51 coming in from Millington. Hey, 24/7 reliable crane and rigging services right here in the Memphis area. It's Tomahawk Crane and Rigging. Check them out at tomahawkcrane.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now, back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by East Memphis Ace Hardware at the corner of White Station and Quince. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everybody. 7:27 on this Friday. Yeah, we're brand spanking new. We're not taking the day off. It's the AutoZone Liberty Bowl, for goodness sakes. Getting you set for the big game today. Again, welcome into all the folks from around the country are here to see the game, support Iowa State. All the folks from Ames, if you just happen to be listening to the radio and you have caught us, we appreciate that. And again, if you want to hit us up, text in at 901-360-8255. Let us know what you think about today's matchup with the Memphis Tigers. It is Friday. It's John Varlas time.
It's time for Greg and Eli's weekly visit with John Varlas of the Daily Memphian. Check out John's prep sports coverage and more at dailymemphian.com. Now, here's John Varlas with Greg and Eli.
Here's John Varlas, the award-winning Daily Memphian prep reporter, but so much more. You can follow him on Twitter at John Varlas. Catch him every single Friday. I assume the ship's ashore now. You look like a longshoreman today as you are ready for the elements today.
good morning to you, Greg, and good morning to Eli, and good morning to Zach.
Good morning.
Just, well, as I'm sure you well know, body heat escapes through the ears, among other places, and I'm trying to keep my head covered because it's cold outside.
It is cold.
Apparently, Zach and I are the only intelligent life forms in this studio.
Well, we have to wear these.
We're not freezing.
We have to wear these Sports 56 shirts,
in
though.
here.
Yeah.
I'm in my stage outfit.
But your head is uncovered.
Well, I'm not going to cover my head during the show.
Okay.
Then I get hot.
That's fair.
Yeah, we have to showcase the shirts here, the short sleeve shirts.
I'm cold because
people need to see the dome.
Well, for the listeners, I think the studio's not open by the time I get here, so I have to stand outside for a few minutes and wait for the boys to finish their first segment before someone can come let me in the studio.
That's right.
It's cold outside.
I know it's cold outside.
Very nippy. So good football weather though.
You've covered the game before, and you've probably been to games before since you are from here. Do you recall the coldest you've been at an AutoZone Liberty Bowl game or a Liberty Bowl game?
No, I don't really recall being particularly cold. My Liberty Bowl sad story was back in 1985. I was in high school, and the details are really, really fuzzy on how it even happened, but somehow I ended up going to the Liberty Bowl with this girl at my high school that I was just madly in love with, that I thought was gonna, she was just like it, she was like, oh, I was just crazy for this girl, and I don't remember how we ended up going to the game together, but we did. We ended up sitting in a section of Baylor fans. It was Baylor versus LSU, so we ended up sitting in a section of Baylor fans, and we're spending the whole game going, "Oh, let's go Bears!" And at some point in the game, you lean in and maybe you seen
pop the question.
You seen it right? Pop the question. You talk about getting into the end zone. I didn't even get a handshake, man. I was stuck in the friend zone forever with this girl, and it was just dreadful. It's a sad Liberty Bowl story. Thankfully, I have a beautiful wife now, and that is all in the distant past.
It all worked out, right?
Yeah, but at that time, the trauma was unimaginable. I mean, oh my gosh, what the things I did.
Was it cold that day? Like, did you have to snuggle during the game a little bit?
It was pretty cold, but I mean, I remember it as being pretty cold. But a lot of that might have had
she
to
was
do
cold.
with
She was cold.
A lot of that might have had to do with my mental state. To be honest with you.
You got the cold shoulder, nonetheless.
No, but
Barlow's trying to score at the Liberty Bowl game. How about that?
It was awful. I mean, the things I did to try to impress this girl when I was a kid, just so stupid. I mean, I wrote her a poem. I bought tickets to the homecoming game because she was on the court. So I bought a bunch of tickets to support her candidacy, and here I am walking around with school with 20 tickets to the homecoming game that nobody wants. It's awful. I mean, but that's what kids do, and that was
the early days of ticket brokering. John Varlas started it by trying to support some girl's homecoming queen candidacy.
Yeah,
he's walking around school and saying, I got two. Everybody,
exactly.
Who needs tickets?
Right, and at my high school is one of the situations where you leave 4 tickets on the thing because we were so awful. I mean, but no, it was it's the kind of stuff kids do, and it's funny looking back on it now. But at the time, boy, it was frustrating.
So yesterday you texted me about this when we were talking about it, but I got to get from you your favorite Pop-Tart flavor.
I just like the strawberry, right?
The frosted strawberry.
Yeah, frosted strawberry Pop-Tarts. I mean, this guy coming in, I texted you. These people are walking around and they actually have a vote, right? They can help determine our policy, these people that like mango and fudge Pop-Tarts. I mean, this is the kind of people walking around among us, right?
That's true.
Pop-Tarts. And as long as we're on the subject, can I pick a bone?
Oh, here we go. It's bone picking season. Final bone. This is the final bone of 2023.
I want to pick a bone with some of these bowl games, man, because they have just absolutely jumped the shark with this nonsense, with this edible mascot.
What are you talking about? That's the greatest thing of bowl season.
With this edible mascot nonsense in this game where you dump mayonnaise on the coach.
This is what makes bowl games fun. We need this stuff.
In the holiday, I think in the Holiday Bowl, they actually voted what you could douse the winning coach with, and they doused him with eggnog. It's preposterous. It's a sideshow. I mean, you're turning these games into basically pro wrestling at this point. It's why I'm so thankful, and we're going to transition here very nicely. It's why I'm so thankful for the AutoZone Liberty Bowl, the 65 years of tradition. The game can stand on its own. It doesn't need all this. It doesn't need an edible Liberty Bowl mascot.
I think it does.
You don't. I mean, you don't have to. You don't have to hug Harold Grader at halftime for publicity or something like that. The game stands on
Harold
its own.
will hug you.
Well, yeah, he'll do anything for the game. But the game stands on its own.
People might be hugging him to stay warm.
It's got 65 years of tradition. It's got some of the greatest players in college football history that have been here. It's got my sob story of woe to add to that glorious history. I mean, the game stands on its own, and I think that's one of the cool things about the Liberty Bowl. I mean, is the game itself is the selling point, not these edible mascots and mayonnaise baths. I can't.
You don't want a chocolate Liberty Bowl from Dinstall's? You didn't like my idea?
I can't think of anything at this point in my life more disgusting than being covered with mayonnaise. It is a food that I have done a couple.
I'm with you with that.
I'm all for I don't want to be covered in mayonnaise, but I like other people getting covered in mayonnaise.
Why though?
It's because they're both bowl games are exhibitions. I don't know. I want to be entertained, and I think these things are fun. It's fun. Let's just be honest. It's fun.
You're right. This is coming from a guy who likes the Pro Bowl, who wants to watch football players do tug of war and play.
I would much rather watch that than watch them play a football game in which they don't try.
Well, I agree with you, but in that case, just don't do anything. Just let it die at that point. If something has outlived its usefulness, not everything needs to continue. If it's not productive anymore.
Except people will watch it.
To that point, though, and I agree with you about the history of this particular
mayonnaise.
Game. No, but here's the thing. I agree with you as far as the history of this game. It seems like every time the SEC has to make a choice, if they don't have enough teams, they're always left out. So while the history may be there, it's fading a little bit, at least in the eyes of the SEC.
Well, isn't that a money thing, though, at this point?
The stadium.
I think it's a stadium thing.
Well, isn't that tied to like money and revenue and payout?
Yeah,
I think
it's all tied. I think it's all tied. But again, the pomp and circumstance is one thing, but you have to also change with the times. I'm not saying that you have to have mayonnaise thrown on your head coach, but you do have to do something that distinguishes your bowl game from other bowl games. But it's kind of goofy, but that Pop-Tart thing is going to be, you're going to remember the Pop-Tart bowl.
Again, from sponsor perspective, that Duke's mayo, like that thing, when he gets that mayo plate, that is all over social media. Like for a sponsor, that's unbelievable stuff. And I don't know if here they could pour maybe a bunch of lug nuts over a coach or whatever for AutoZone. But like
they killed the coach.
From a sponsor's perspective, like that edible mascot and that pouring the mayonnaise on the coach, absolutely amazing, genius marketing stuff.
And that's all that counts these days. The social media hits and views and all that. And I understand that, but the traditionalist in me is like, man, this is 65 years of generally really good football here at the Liberty Bowl. Bo Jackson, Doug Flutie, Bear Bryant, all kinds of just great history, great memories, great games. And, to me, that's enough. I mean, to me, that's enough. I don't need all the ancillary.
Edible car battery. That's what Harold, Steve, edible car battery for next year.
I hear both of you. I mean, I know he's joking about that, but he's
no,
right.
I'm
not. No. I don't think you really mean edible car battery, do you?
Well, edible. I mean, it's got to be AutoZone related. So
well, Liberty's a chocolate Liberty Bell from Dinstall.
AutoZone. This is about the sponsor, AutoZone.
Okay.
You got a car battery. That's a big piece. Nice. Solid piece.
Okay, but the point I'm making is I understand where you're coming from in this day and age. You're right, and it's about hits. It's about social media. What can you do? That Duke's Mayo thing, you're right. It's like it takes off. It sells itself. And you're right also about the tradition and the history of the bowl games, which I'm worried about is going to the wayside. Is this because now we got next year, obviously, an expanded playoff. We have home stadiums hosting 4 of the games as opposed to the bowl games. I think there's going to be even more of a division between the bowl games and the bowl games that really mean something, meaning they're involved with the playoff. I don't know where to go from here. These opt-outs are crazy as far as players. I was talking to Ryan Silverfield yesterday, we were meeting with the coaches. There's about 16 or 17 opt-outs by Memphis. Now, 3 of them are starters. Iowa State's got about 15. but only one is a key player and a starter. But you have other guys that are opting out. There are other teams around the nation playing in bowl games where they have many key players that have opted out.
Poor Florida State, for example, and I'm really kind of disappointed that our local guy from Lausanne, Brock Glenn, is probably going to bear the brunt of the criticism on that. But look at the situation. You're putting your third string quarterback in the game, and you're giving him absolutely nothing to work with on top of it. Top. I think I saw 3 of the top 4 running backs are gone for Florida State, top 2 wide receivers, a lot of the O linemen. Yeah. Then you stick him in there with that.
That's on the players. They didn't support him.
It's on the players, but I mean, it's also on the committee, and we're getting off track.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean,
I meant as far as the coach, it's not on the coach, it's not on Norvell, it's not on Florida State.
Well, no, it's the players, and that I'm going to get off, and I don't want to get off into another tangent when we're talking on the Liberty Bowl, but I think my thing is 15 years from now, the Pop-Tarts Bowl is going to be something else. The Liberty Bowl is still going to be the Liberty Bowl. It's still going to be here. It's still going to have its tradition. It's still going to be the Liberty Bowl.
Could be very true.
But the Pop-Tarts Bowl is going to be the Banana Split Bowl, and they'll be throwing bananas and whipped cream.
I don't like bananas.
Because it used to be the Cheez-It Bowl, right?
Right. So the whole thing, it's just that's my thing. When you have substance, when you have a product that people know and trust, that's what counts to me more than some of this nonsense going on in the bowl games. And I'm glad, Eli, that you enjoyed the mayonnaise celebration. Man, that thing just gives me nightmares. That is a food I have done a complete 180 on in my lifetime, is mayonnaise.
You used to like mayonnaise?
Oh, I used to love it. I used to consume mayonnaise regularly. I mean, that's
not like straight though.
Oh, pretty much straight. I used to put,
that's disgusting.
Yeah, I used to put.
That's gross.
I used to put mayonnaise on crackers and just eat them like sandwiches. Man, that's the kind of eating habits that get you.
I'm sick.
Up to
what in the world?
That's the kind of
mayonnaise.
Yeah,
on
Zach,
crackers.
give me a barf bag, please.
I'm telling
just
you, man.
mayonnaise on crackers.
That's the kind of eating habits that get you close to 400 pounds, and thank goodness, I'm moving past that. But no, mayonnaise is. I used to love mayonnaise.
Should have went mustard, and you would have never gained weight.
That's why we can't.
Right.
That's why I can't.
Good point.
We can't trust your judgment on any of these things. You clearly have displayed bad judgment in your life.
Guilty as charged.
But look how hard he's worked to get back to where he is.
No doubt about it.
Oh my gosh, that's disgusting.
Well, one other thing, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about this game that you're.
Or even just white bread.
Just mayonnaise
I
and
used
bread.
to do as a kid, like a snack. I would have a piece of white bread.
Nothing else, just mayonnaise bread.
Nothing else. I told you. I'm telling you. I used to love mayonnaise, and now I can barely stand the sight of it. If there's a little bit of it on a burger, or whatever, at a restaurant, I won't scrape it off. But no, I mean, I
hear you.
I just can't imagine the thought of being in the proximity of that much mayonnaise. That coach is going to smell like mayonnaise for the next week.
Yes. Let me ask you this, though.
Come on. Why are you going to smell like mayonnaise for a week?
Because it lingers. Mayonnaise smells.
You should know. So your point about what it's become now, but I would say it's a lot of these games have become. They've always been exhibition games, but I think it's a lot more insignificant now because of where we are with the opt-outs, where we are with the NIL, where we are with transfer portal. Because back in the day. If not, you're telling me that when it was called the Sun Bowl, it had more significance than the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl. It's still the Sun Bowl. It just has a sponsor name that's attached to it. When we were young, it was Sun Bowl, Orange Bowl, Sugar Bowl. There was no sponsorship name attached to it.
Yeah, but I guess, and I'm not getting your point on that, but I mean, it was still an exhibition. The 1979 Sun Bowl still was an exhibition game. It still was essentially.
But I think it was more prominent.
It still was essentially.
But I think it was more prominent, in my opinion, because of today, with not knowing which players are even showing up for the game.
Well, sure.
That's why I think there's a big difference.
That's the thing. I mean, these players, you interview them. You interview them during the course of the season, and it's like, this is my team, my family, my brothers. I go to war with my brothers, this and that. Brothers, family. Then when it comes time to the bowl game, it's like, okay, so long, family.
Well, you mentioned the history of the Liberty Bowl, the Bo Jacksons, the Doug Flutys. Those guys will never play in these games moving forward.
Well, and that's unfortunate, and it speaks to.
Well, they're a little old to play. Anyway, I think they've used up their eligibility.
I don't know. Flutie takes that Frank Thomas stuff, so.
But the thing is,
What Frank Thomas stuff?
You know.
But you're talking about the.
I really don't.
You don't see the commercials of Frank Thomas for
the baseball player?
Yeah.
No, I'm not familiar with what you're talking about.
Well, to help you in the the chicks will dig it too.
Testosterone.
Yeah, the testosterone.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But you're talking about You're talking about the Liberty Bowl. The Liberty Bowl will keep going.
That's right. He doesn't have a TV.
If AutoZone wasn't the sponsor of Liberty Bowl and it's a new sponsor, so what? People don't care what the sponsor is. They care about the bowl game, yes. The fans. And it's year to year. It's two different teams anyway, so those fans could care less what the sponsor was the year before or the year before that or anything like that. It's a bowl game, and they all stand on a 1 year thing. But their tradition, AutoZone hasn't always been the sponsor of the Liberty Bowl.
No, I agree with you, and it is great that AutoZone does sponsor the Liberty Bowl because I'm sure their sponsorship helps tremendously. But just broader picture with guys opting out of the game, and it's just I don't know.
When do you think the first opt out started?
It's been probably 6-7 years ago. It's been within the last decade.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. When you were playing, when there was a bowl game.
Shattering his leg, destroying his leg, started it.
Well,
that's a big part of it.
When there were bowl games and growing up, 70s, 80s, 90s, into the 2000s, the Stars played.
Well,
now the Stars always opt out. They all opt out.
And my thing with the opt outs, like what you say with Jalen Smith. Okay, he shattered his leg in the bowl game. Well, he could have shattered his leg in week 2 when they were playing, Central South Dakota's Tech.
Yeah, but those games matter. They're trying to win. The bowl game doesn't matter.
That game, that game, there's a lot of regular season games that are, fairly close to meaningless. They play in those games. I mean, those are, a lot of, every team has, 2 or 3 glorified scrimmages on their schedule for the most part. All the big teams do.
Don't you think Memphis's game today against Iowa State is much more important than their game against, who did they play to open the season?
Bethune-Cookman? Sure, this one is more important. They're going for 10 wins, something that's hardly ever been done in the history of the program, and I think that's significant. I enjoyed listening to you guys talk with Phil yesterday and him sharing his perspective. He knows the history of this program. 10-3 is a big deal for Memphis. This isn't Alabama or Ohio State or Nebraska where you've got a long line of 10-win seasons. This it's still a big deal for this program, and I think they're going to go out and.
But they wouldn't have 10 wins without the win over Bethune-Cookman.
Well,
it's still that win. They're all wins.
It goes hand in hand, but you're really de-emphasizing the importance of this game. I know we call it glorified exhibitions, but I still think when you look back at 2023 and their history, this game, and if they can get this win, which is going to be a big challenge today, gets them, as John said, to 10, it becomes a significant game among all the games that they played this season.
Well, and you guys were at the Bethune-Cookman game. They got Seth Hennigan out there in the third quarter, and the game's already over at that point. God forbid Seth Hennigan breaks his leg in the third quarter against Bethune-Cookman. So, you're always taking a risk if you're playing football. It just comes with the territory.
Yes, I agree.
Either and I don't know, if you commit to your teammates, you call these guys your brothers and your family, and then at the 11th hour you leave them.
Well, if they were that worried, they'd put Hennigan in bubble wrap and not play him in this game because he's coming back for 2024. And your thought would be about winning it all in 2024, winning the conference championship. But that's not the way you do it.
But that's 8 months away, 9 months away. These guys who are going pro, why play in one last meaningless game when I can go get ready for the pros? I'm going to be a first-round draft pick.
I can understand those guys that are going to be high draft picks. I can also understand if they want to play a final game. They had the big guy for, what team was it yesterday that played? Kansas State, the big lineman who's probably going to go to the NFL. He said, I just wanted to be there for one more ride. Yeah. I wanted to be with my team. I can see both.
And that's fine. Who cares? That's their decision to make. So good on them. Whatever the decision they want to make, let them make it.
No, absolutely. I'm not knocking these guys' decision. I'm just saying we've gone from the Caleb Williams of the world opting out to dudes that aren't even going to get picked in the draft because of where we stand now with the portal and all that. And I'm not anti-portal. I'm just anti the timing of it. It kind of screws up all these rosters going into the bowl season.
This time of our program is brought to you by East Memphis Ace Hardware. They're at the corner of White Station and Quince. Go by and see them for all those DIY needs you have around the house. Maybe you got a painting project. Well, they've got a massive selection of Benjamin Moore paints. Of course, you can find whatever it is you need and a great staff to help you find exactly what you need over at East Memphis Ace Hardware. Plus the Big Green Egg and all the egg accessories. You can find that. They're a platinum dealer of the Big Green Egg. So everything you need from the Big Green Eggs to the sauces and rubs and everything else, charcoal, they've got it for you at East Memphis Ace Hardware, corner of White Station and Quince.
All right, more with John Varlas, including a prediction of what he thinks will happen today. That'll be coming up next. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
When you think about insurance and you want great value without sacrificing great service, I want you to think one place: the Eflin Insurance and the entire Eflin Insurance team. Matt and his group of professionals will access 10 leading companies to find the right home and auto program that fits your budget and your absolute needs. The Eflin Insurance team, the number 386-GER, 386-4777.
It's a holiday experience like no other. The Light Garden in Olive Branch. It's a walk through an entertainment extravaganza with hundreds of giant 3D Christmas light displays, photos with Santa, food and drinks, and special event nights, including fireworks on New Year's Eve. Bring the family out nightly from now through December 31st at Olive Branch City Park. Go to lightgarden.online for details and to buy tickets, and stay tuned to Sports 56 and 98.5 FM for chances to win tickets to go see the Light Garden in Olive Branch.
Roofs, roofs, and more roofs. Chris Price here with Metro Builders. Is your roof leaking? Do you have mold stains on the ceiling of your home or business? Is your carrier denying your claim or offering a repair simply because they don't have enough documentation? You need a contractor that performs work for insurance claims for policyholders each and every day, and Metro Builders is here to assist. Call Metro Builders. At Metro Builders, we provide free estimates, consultation, and claim repairs. Metro Builders' process of arriving, inspecting, diagnosing problems, and estimating is second to none, commercial and residential. Our team of Hague-certified technicians are standing by to assist you with providing estimates and photos to your carrier to document your loss. All you owe is what your policy states. No large fees on top of the final scope. We use high-grade materials and are certified by companies like Atlas, CertainTeed, Owens Corning, and Mulehide with labor warranties up to 50 years on all of our jobs. Metro Builders provides roof repairs across the Mid-South. Call Metro Builders to schedule your inspection free. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717.
Do you have a game plan for COVID-19? Prescription oral treatments must be taken within the first 5 days of symptoms, even if mild. If you have a high risk factor, ask your doctor if treatment is right for you. Visit treatcovid19.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Now, back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by East Memphis Ace Hardware at the corner of White Station and Quince. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
We were talking about this yesterday from the 2017 game. Did you cover the 2017 matchup?
I remember it. Yeah, I did cover it. I think I remember seeing a bunch of Iowa State fans, and I know I didn't dream them, so I'm pretty sure I was there. But again, my memory is getting a little bit foggy.
Well, 11 different Tigers have played in the NFL from that team, many still in the NFL. And then we were looking at the box score yesterday, I was at least, and we were talking about it on the air. David Montgomery was the starting running back for Iowa State. Mm-hmm. Memphis actually did a good job bottling him up, now with the Lions. Alan Lazard was their leading receiver.
Oh, I remember Alan Lazard. Wasn't he like the MVP? He had a really good game that day.
Right.
Okay, I did cover it.
But I guess the point is, 2017, now I don't know where those guys were supposed to be as far as the draft is concerned. I know a lot of the Tigers weren't expected to be high picks or even drafted, and they surprised, like the Bryce Huffs of the world. And all. But I don't know with Lazard. I don't know with Montgomery, but they played in that game. That's my point. Now, I don't know about this year's team. I look at the Memphis team. I go, I'm sure there'll be a player or two that'll make it in the NFL. I don't know who. And with Iowa State, they had the opt-out of Tampa, TJ Tampa, who is expected to be maybe a first-round pick. Other than that, they'll have a couple of guys, certainly in the NFL. I don't know who. So I guess it all depends on where those players are now as far as projections whether or not they opt out.
Was Brock Purdy on that 2017 Iowa State team?
He was.
How about that? Brock Purdy, future MVP.
He was Mr. Irrelevant on that team too, I think.
Brock Purdy's been pretty irrelevant except for just like the last year and a half.
I know.
Yes, pretty much. Yes.
So what do you expect? We talked about Memphis trying to win 10 games for just the 5th time in their history. They're 10.5-point underdogs. We know that the defense has taken their brunt of punishment this year, and this is an Iowa State team that will try to run it right down your throats. What do you expect to see today?
Well, with Seth Hennigan and some of the skill guys, I like Memphis's advantage in the skill department. The thing that concerns me most about this game is offensive is going to be line play. I mean, I think with the defections and we saw Memphis's offensive line struggle at times this season, even when they were at full strength. So with some of these couple of these guys not playing, I'm worried about the physicality of Iowa State up front. That concerns me. Is Hennigan going to have enough time to do what he does so well? Is he going to have time to get his passes off? Is he going to be scrambling for his life the whole game? So that's what concerns me. Memphis's offensive line play. They've had plenty of time to practice, so I'm sure Coach Silverfield and the O-line coach and everybody has got a good game plan together, a good blocking scheme, and they've been able to patch that line together. So I think they'll be fine and be able to weather the storm. But ultimately, that's what concerns me the most is the O-line for Memphis. I think if they can somehow figure that out, I think they've got a good chance to win this game. I really, really do. If I was a betting man, which I'm not, but if I was, I would definitely take the Tigers plus the 10 points. That seems like a bit of a high line for a game like this.
Even if you were a betting man, I would tell you don't bet on bowl games.
Well, that's a good
just
point.
The unpredictability.
That's a good point too. But but I wouldn't bet on. I kind of know a little bit about this one going into it. I wouldn't just randomly bet on the Duke's Mayo the Duke's Mayo Bowl, for example, without having any insight into the teams and what's going on. But no, that's the thing. Line play. If Memphis can get some halfway decent blocking up front, I think they got a chance.
Yeah, as long as
is Blake Watson playing?
Yes, he is.
Okay. If they can give Hennigan and Watson some time to operate, I think they got a chance.
Yeah, they think they could run the ball well. And you're absolutely right about the protection for Hennigan. Now, as long as, even though it's cold, I know when it's cold, it's a tougher, harder ball for the receivers, but it's not like it's 12 outside. The problem is if it's going to be windy inside that bowl, because that could affect the passing game, could affect the kicking game as well. I don't expect it to be too bad. Maybe 10 miles per hour is what they're saying, so hopefully it's not too bad, because Seth is going to have to throw the ball as well, probably a lot of intermediate passes. Iowa State usually they'll drop 8 a lot. They're not a big blitzing team. But they have a humongous offensive line.
Yeah.
They also got 5 tight ends, and they're all bigger than the other. Corn-fed tight ends, man.
That's exactly what you'd expect from Iowa State. But no, Hennigan is really good in that kind of intermediate range passing game. I think that's kind of he excels, I think, in that, the short to intermediate stuff. A lot of the time he's done really well with that. So, yeah, if they can just get some time, I think they'll be able to put their offensive game plan into play. And, if they can put together some drives and keep Iowa's defense on the field, I think they got a chance. But who knows? And you're totally right, Eli. These bowl games are completely unpredictable, and that is reason number one not to bet them for sure.
Well, here's one thing that's very not only predictable, we know it's going to happen. At halftime, the Bar-Kays will be playing. I can't name one song. Can you name a Bar-Kay song? I know they were sensational, and then they had the tragedy, and they've been actually mixing and matching members for years.
The only Bar-Kays song I can think of, and I think it's a Bar-Kay song, but it's actually kind of an older one. I think it was like "Party on the Dance Floor."
Oh, I think I heard that.
Is that the Bar-Kays?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not a connoisseur of.
Zach, can you look that up? "Party on the Dance Floor."
I'm not a connoisseur of the Bar-Kays.
You like to party and you like to get on the dance floor, so it makes sense for you, right?
Totally. Oh man, I was born to boogie.
That's Hank Williams Jr. I believe.
What? Party on the dance floor?
Born to boogie.
Born to boogie.
Yeah, it's one thing. If you said, JV, do a passable dance here to save your life. I couldn't do it. Just say bye. I'm over.
Back in the day, if somebody was said do a dance for some mayonnaise, you would have been all over it.
But going back to your original point about the Liberty Bowl and the history, they do all that really, really well. The music, the cheerleaders, the bands out there, they just do a great job. The Americana, the whole thing of it. Have you found this song, Zach?
The Barcades have a freak show on the dance.
There you go. Go ahead and play that.
Freak show on the dance floor.
Also, John. Or play Hank Williams Jr.'s Born to Boogie, which is better.
Yeah, except Junior's not playing. It'll be the Barcades. There we go. You'll hear these guys at halftime of today's AutoZone Liberty Bowl game. We'll take this to the break. In the meantime, John Albright, my partner tomorrow on Tiger Basketball, but my buddy right here is John Barlas from the Daily Memphian. Make sure to read all his great stories, his coverage of the AutoZone Liberty Bowl game. Oh, I've heard of this song. You can follow him on Twitter at John Barlas. Catch him every Friday right here on Sports 56 Mornings. JB, thank you, my friend.
Thank you, guys. Happy New Year to you all. Greg, Eli, Zach, you guys are the best. I really appreciate you letting me come in every Friday and talk with you guys. It really means a lot. So I hope you guys all have a very blessed and wonderful 2024. I really, truly do.
And it's mutual, John. Thank you so much for your time.
Go dip a Pop-Tart in some mayonnaise.
No! We'll be back hour 2 of the program. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk. Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Guns, and more guns. Over 700 firearms in stock. Home defense guns, old guns, new guns, used guns, big guns, little guns. Every gun you can think of, Classic Arms has them. All brands like Glock, Sig, Colt, Ruger, Smith & Wesson, Browning, Beretta, Benelli, Remington, Winchester, and more. Guaranteed lowest prices in town. Only gun importer in the Mid-South. Free gun inspections and appraisals and free bore sighting for the upcoming deer season. Shop online at ClassicArmsOfMemphis.com or visit Classic Arms at 1740 Germantown Parkway behind Corky's Barbecue in Cordova.
Simple, smooth, and every sip as easy as the last. Tito's handmade vodka tastes just as good with tap water as it does with your favorite mixer. Back in the day, Tito distilled, hand-bottled, taste-tested, sent to a few friends, then taste-tested again to give you the finest juice around. No frills, no flavors, no fancy labels, just the good stuff. Just Tito's. For recipes, videos, and more, visit Tito'sVodka.com. Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas, 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly.
Don't miss out on limited time appliance deals during the closeout event at Lowe's. For a limited time, get up to 35% off select major appliances. Plus, get an additional 20% off in-store clearance appliances. Hurry, these deals are too good to last long. Shop in-store or online today because Lowe's knows deals. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid 12/28/23 through 1/3/24. Selection varies by location while supplies last. See Lowe's.com for details.
Roofs, and more roofs. Chris Price here with Metro Builders. Is your roof leaking? Do you have mold stains on the ceiling of your home or business? Is your carrier denying your claim or offering a repair simply because they don't have enough documentation? You need a contractor that performs work for insurance claims for policyholders each and every day, and Metro Builders is here to assist. Call Metro Builders. At Metro Builders, we provide free estimates, consultation, and claim repairs. Metro Builders' process of arriving, inspecting, diagnosing problems, and estimating is second to none, commercial and residential. Our team of Hague-certified technicians are standing by to assist you with providing estimates and photos to your carrier to document your loss. All you owe is what your policy states. No large fees on top of the final scope. We use high-grade materials and are certified by companies like Atlas, CertainTeed, Owens Corning, and Mulehide with labor warranties up to 50 years on all of our jobs. Metro Builders provides roof repairs across the Mid-South. Call Metro Builders to schedule your inspection free. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717.
Do you have a game plan for COVID-19? Prescription oral treatments must be taken within the first 5 days of symptoms, even if mild. If you have a high risk factor, ask your doctor if treatment is right for you. Visit treatcovid19.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Sports 56 traffic brought to you by Curfew.
Enjoy the ultimate dining experience at Curfew with specials every night. Mississippi Monday, Tuesday Ladies Night, Wing Wednesday, and Thursday Hotel Guest Appreciation Day. Curfew American Tavern Craft Cocktails, your new destination. 164 Union Avenue, main floor of the Canopy Hotel.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. A little bit of volume at times coming up through DeSoto County northbound 55 into South Haven. That's been in pretty good shape actually all morning long. Lots of radar out here all over the place. Actually, I-40 coming in from Fayette County, I-40 as you travel out through certain parts of Arkansas towards Forest City. We had several reports out there. 24/7 reliable crane and rigging services here in Memphis. It's got to be Tomahawk Crane and Rigging. They're online at tomahawkcrane.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
Diamonds are forever. Woo!
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 8:03 is the time. Hour number 2 here on Sports 56 Mornings, the Friday, December 29th, 2023 edition. Final show for us here in the calendar year of 2023. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, Zach Boyd with you from the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. Currently 37 degrees, got a little misty rain, but today, this afternoon, for the game, partly cloudy and a high of 42. I don't see any precip in the forecast. Winds 5 to 10 miles per hour, but again, you never know. Mostly clear skies with a low of 32 tonight, and then tomorrow, to get your Saturday going, a few clouds from time to time with a high near 51 degrees. Second hour of the program is brought to you each and every day by our friends at James Gaddis Jewelers. They are your family's jeweler at 4900 Poplar, right between Mendenhall and St. Nick in the heart of East Memphis, on the web at GaddisJewelers.com. And each Monday and Friday, they bring you the Memphis Sports Fact. Did you know? We've been talking about the AutoZone Liberty Bowl game. Well, in the 2017 game between Iowa State and Memphis, Tony Pollard, now a star running back with the Dallas Cowboys, had only one carry for the Tigers. He caught 2 passes. Patrick Taylor was the leading rusher for the Tigers. He had 68 yards on 17 carries. Of course, Taylor would go on to play in the NFL, where he is with the Green Bay Packers. David Montgomery, now of the Detroit Lions, the starting running back for Iowa State, he ended up going for 52 yards on 24 carries. The Memphis defense bottled him up pretty well. We'll see which stars come out of today's game as the Tigers and the Iowa State Cyclones have their rematch in the AutoZone Liberty Bowl game. James Gaddis Jewelers, your bridal, engagement, and anniversary jeweler headquarters in 2024. Make sure you stop on by, see what they have to offer, whether you're looking for that special engagement ring, watches of all types, bracelets, necklaces, earrings, pendants, plus estate and vintage jewelry. It's James Gaddis Jewelers.
Yeah, you also had, Lazard was and then you had Anthony Miller. There was a lot. The skill position players in that game were pretty impressive.
Really impressive. By the way, we were talking about Purdy, and somebody texted in, and when I said I thought he was on the team, I didn't think he was he was the third string guy, I think, to start 2018. I thought in 2017 he may have been a redshirt freshman. I don't see that information anywhere, so I don't believe he was.
No, I don't believe he joined the team.
Yeah,
he started his freshman year, 2018.
Somebody told me yesterday they thought he was a redshirt freshman on that team in 2017, but apparently that's wrong information. But started out as the third stringer and then moved up and had obviously a great career, but a career that would only get him Mr. Irrelevant as far as the NFL.
But he became the starting quarterback his freshman year.
Yes, but he didn't start out the year. He was the third string quarterback to start out the year. I was just reading about his bio, and then got his opportunities. I'm not sure if he got his opportunities because of injury or because of ineffectiveness by the other quarterbacks, but he got his chance. He seized the moment. But again, in the eyes of the NFL personnel, not the prototypical type quarterback you want in the National Football League. And he has shut up a lot of the critics with the games that he has put together. Had the bad game last time out with the 4 interceptions, but for the most part, he has been heaven sent for the San Francisco 49ers. We talked about the Grizzlies to open up the show, losing to Denver last night without Ja Morant, 142-105. They're back in action tonight against the Clippers. The Clippers are a 6.5-point favorite, 9:30 start tonight out on the left coast, and no word yet on the status of Ja, Santi Aldama. And again, who knows who else could be affected by the bug that's going around from Memphis. Bad timing with the team 4-0 since Ja's return. And then, of course, the first game that Ja can't go, they lose. And we talked about when Ja returned 57 games after being suspended for 25, that there's no way he's playing in all 57 games. I mean, let's be real. And here we are, game 5 of his return and not playing. And who knows if he'll play in game 6.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, John Conchar was back last night after missing the previous game. Now, this is a back-to-back, so hopefully Ja is able to go, and hopefully Santi's able to go, and hopefully nobody else has come down with this illness that's making its way around the team.
I looked at Jitty's numbers coming back from the illness. He had 10 points, he had 4-9 from the field, but just 1 of 5 from 3. He had 7 rebounds, he had 3 assists, he had 2 steals, he had a block. He was a minus 30 in 25 minutes. A minus 30. Bismack Biyombo was a minus 28 in 22 minutes last night.
Well, Desmond was a minus 27 in 25 minutes, so everybody was a big minus.
Except for Marcus Smart.
When you lose by a billion.
Yeah, Marcus Smart was a minus 7 in his 23 minutes. Last night, NFL Week 17 kicked off with the Browns beating the Jets 37-20. As the Browns improved to 11-5, the Jets dropped to 6-10. Joe Flacco does it again. 19 of 29, 309 yards, 3 touchdown passes, did throw a pick 6, but it's interesting, since he took over, he's thrown a bunch of interceptions, but he's thrown a lot more touchdowns for a lot more yards and has led the Browns to victories in every single one of his starts. Trevor Siemian going for the New York Jets. He also threw a pick 6, so each team had a pick 6 in that game.
Browns clinched the playoff spot, which is just amazing with what their quarterback situation has been. 4 different quarterbacks and still finding a way to win. And what Flacco continues to do is just crazy. He's been absolutely terrific. And it's amazing that the 1 touchdown to Ford last night again, like teams get pressure on him and you think Joe Flacco, like, okay, he can't possibly move, but he somehow, guys hit him and he stays on his feet, somehow gets out of there, and then finds a guy, and it ends up resulting in a big play.
Yep.
It happened numerous times to Amari Cooper last week, and Amari Cooper's huge week. And then last night, that one results in a touchdown with Ford. Guys, can't bring him down, and he just finds a way to keep the play alive just enough and find guys downfield. And it's a pretty amazing story, what he's done since coming in there and joining them as the starting quarterback.
Like I said earlier in the week, I would think DeMar Hamlin, just the fact that he was able to return and play, he hasn't played a lot for the Buffalo Bills, but to be able to return from what was death, right? His heart had stopped. They revived him. He was back, and not only in uniform, but played some this year, that he would be the comeback player of the year. But right now, you look at Joe Flacco. The guy went from his couch to leading Cleveland. And when you look at Cleveland with that defense, led by Myles Garrett, who should get some MVP consideration, the Browns are going to be a tough out in the playoffs. If they go, let's say it's crazy to think Cleveland goes to the Super Bowl. Are they bringing Joe Flacco back next year? All the money they're spending on Deshaun Watson?
They might bring him as a backup, regardless of whatever happens.
You shouldn't be the backup. If you could play this well and you lead your team to new heights, you deserve to at least go in there as the starter. But you're right. When you invest in so much money, more than likely you're going to get the benefit of the doubt, or you're going to give the benefit of the doubt to that guy. Now, Denver cut ties. I don't believe that's going to happen with Cleveland. But Deshaun Watson, he has to get on the field. And it has been a debacle ever since that huge signing.
Garrett Wilson last night for the Jets went over 1,000 yards for a second straight season. I feel so sorry for that dude. He's got 2,000-yard seasons 2 years, and he has had pure garbage throwing him the football for 2 years. If that dude could, again, now Rodgers getting hurt, but I want to see that dude with somebody who can actually throw the football to him and what kind of numbers he could put up.
Right. Yeah, he's great. He's great. They've had 4 quarterbacks play, the Jets.
Well, they had one. Aaron Rodgers, he played 3. They've had guys who have played the position.
But just, again, technically, factually, if you've played it down, you've played. Aaron Rodgers, Tim Boyle, Zach Wilson, Trevor Siemian. Is that it? Have they had a 5th?
I don't know if there's another one or not.
How many teams that you could think of off the top of your head have had one quarterback the entire time? And I don't mean like they went out because of an injury. Like even if they went out of the game late in the game and another quarterback came in to kind of wrap it up, to mop it up. Is there any quarterbacks that you could think of? I'm sure there are that have played every single down. Has Dak played every single down?
No, not every single down. He's played. I mean, because there are a couple of blowouts. Cooper Rush got in.
Has Lamar Jackson played every single down?
I mean, I don't. I have no idea. I mean, the blowouts, I don't watch the end of the blowouts to see if somebody else came in and took a couple of snaps. I would doubt that he has, but I don't know.
I'm just curious. Again, I'm looking at the standings, so I don't have all the quarterbacks in front of me. But I'm just looking at the top of my head. Miami, Tua missed a game, didn't he? Wasn't there a game he didn't start? Or am I wrong about that? Because it would be Mike White, I guess, would be the backup.
I believe there was. I don't know if he didn't start or if he got hurt in a game. I think there was I think there might have been a game he missed.
How about Josh Allen?
I mean, Allen's taken. I don't know. If there's
He
been
may
any,
have been in there.
I don't know if there's
time.
been any game where somebody came in and took a few snaps.
Right.
I would guess there probably has been, but I don't know.
But you look at all these teams, the Patriots, the Jets, the Browns, the Steelers, the Bengals that have played multiple quarterbacks, the Colts, the Texans, the Titans, the Raiders, the Chargers, the Giants, the Commanders. Goff has played pretty much the whole time for the Lions, I think. The Vikings have played 3 or 4 quarterbacks. Jordan Love may have played every game for Green Bay. Trying to think. Their backup is no. Didn't Clifford come in and play a game earlier in the year? So I remember John Harden always calls him the big red dog. I laugh every time. I remember him saying that. So he may have played. Clifford may have played. Atlanta's played multiple quarterbacks. Saints, Derek Carr's been out. Bryce Young missed a game. Andy Dalton played for him. Purdy missed a game, right? Didn't Purdy miss a game? And Darnold played? Rams have had multiple quarterbacks with Stafford hurt earlier in the season. Geno missed a game for the Seahawks. Drew Lock played 1 game. Arizona's had multiple quarterbacks. It's very, very rare that a quarterback has played in every game, let alone every snap, for their respective teams in the NFL this year. In the AFC, there have been 3 teams, including Cleveland last night, that have clinched playoff spots. So of these 7 playoff teams in the AFC, Miami, Baltimore, Cleveland are the only 3 that have clinched. Kansas City hasn't even clinched. In the NFC, there are 4 that have clinched.
Could you try again?
What was that? Philadelphia, Dallas, Detroit, and San Francisco. Is that going off on your thing? It's like some dude from England talking. Big Brother's listening. So 7 of the 14 teams so far have clinched. So still a lot of spots open. Still a lot of intrigue going into the rest of Week 17 and then into Week 18.
Well, this is, I mean, again, when you get a ton of teams around 500, that's what the league has become. A bunch of teams around that 7 and between and the end of the year, 8 and 9 and 9 and 8 and those types of teams. And so it takes a long time to sort it out.
Okay, so we won't have a show on Monday. We'll be back on Tuesday, on January 2nd. So the national semifinal games are Monday. And we got a busy rest of the show coming up. Matt Dillon will talk Tigers basketball with the Tiger Basketball Report. That'll be coming up here in less than 10 minutes. Brandon Lang at 9:05, and then former NFL All-Pro linebacker Sean Merriman at 9:25. I kind of know where you're going with this. By the way, I think it's been a good pick by you all year long. I've been very impressed with the Texas pick by you. But in the national semis, I just think Washington, I'm not saying they're winning a national championship, But Washington has kind of been that team that has been counted out. They've been counted out a couple of times against Oregon, beat them both times. I love Penix. I think he will be the surprise of the quarterbacks that go in this draft, where he will end up going late first or into the second round. And I think he'll be the one that really stands out. I think they're going to beat Texas. I don't know why I think that way, but you have been on the Texas bandwagon since the beginning. So, again, I give you credit on that one. You like Texas in this one, right?
I like Texas slightly. I mean, I think this will be a really good game. I think it's kind of a toss-up game, which is no surprise. It's the 2 versus 3. It should kind of be that. But I have a slight lean towards Texas.
Do you think it's a high-scoring game?
I don't think it's going to be crazy high-scoring, but I mean there will be some points scored.
The line is what right now? Do you know off the top of your head? I'm trying to look this up.
I do not know what the line currently sits at.
All right, let me see if I can find that. And then with the Alabama-Michigan game, it's just, look, I like Alabama. It seems like everybody and their mom that's not affiliated or associated with Michigan likes Alabama, which worries me a bit.
It is one of those, although I don't know where all the betting money is coming in on that game. And the fact that the line has not been moving in favor of Alabama. Now, maybe that is Vegas believes in Alabama and wants people to keep, or Vegas likes Michigan wants people to keep betting on Alabama or whatever. But the fact that the line hasn't been moving towards Alabama may mean that the betting money is not coming in there, and maybe we'll get some late money on Alabama or whatever. But it does seem like everybody you talk to likes Alabama in that game.
Yeah, it seems like everybody, and we've talked about J.J. McCarthy, who hasn't thrown for, over 25 yards, 150 yards?
150 yards in the last 4, I believe it is.
Yeah, so you're not going to throw all over the field against Alabama. Milroe is now a different player than he was at the beginning of the year, but yet Michigan remains a 2-point favorite in the Rose Bowl. I'm sticking with my guns. I like Alabama, but I am a little concerned when everybody seems to be on the bandwagon. The Washington-Texas game, the Sugar Bowl game, is Texas by 3.5. 3.5. So that's interesting. Again, I really like Washington to win straight up in this one, but I'd certainly, if I played the game, would take Washington and the points. Corky's Ribs and Barbecue is a great option for lunch, for dinner, today or any day. You can dine in at any of their 4 establishments. You can drive through, no contact delivery, pick it up, bring it home, bring it to your office, or have any of the services delivered to your home or office. They have specialized in catering ever since they came into existence about 4 decades ago. They could start you out as low as $8.99 per person. So if you got any parties coming up, New Year's Eve party, any type of an event coming up, you want it catered, just contact Corky's. Also, you can reserve their private party room at either the Cordova or the Olive Branch location for a little anniversary, a little birthday party, whatever you got coming up in 2024. Delicious barbecue. In fact, slow-smoked barbecue that has been putting smiles on people's faces for years and years. If you don't want to go the barbecue route one day, go on over there and have their award-winning catfish plate. It is delicious. Tamales are terrific. Even the burgers are fantastic. I love the rolls that you get with the meals, the cheese and sausage plates, the barbecue nachos. The wings are outstanding, plus amazing desserts as well. So if you're listening, you're in town, and you're going to the game today, you're going to be around for the weekend, head on over to Corky's this weekend and enjoy yourselves some delicious Memphis barbecue. Poplar Avenue in Memphis, Poplar Avenue in Collierville, Germantown Parkway in Cordova, and Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Corky's Ribs and Barbecue open for lunch and dinner 7 days a week. When we return, it's all about Tigers hoops. They return to action tomorrow. The 19th ranked team in the nation. They host Austin Peay at 6 o'clock. We got the Tiger basketball report coming up with the professor, Matt Dillon. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Be sure to follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows, stay up to date with station events, and have chances to win prizes. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
Simple, smooth, and every sip as easy as the last. Tito's handmade vodka tastes just as good with tap water as it does with your favorite mixer. Back in the day, Tito distilled, hand-bottled, taste-tested, sent to a few friends, then taste-tested again to give you the finest juice around. No frills, no flavors, no fancy labels, just the good stuff. Just Tito's. For recipes, videos, and more, visit Tito'sVodka.com. Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas, 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly.
Moving is stressful, but Black Tie Moving can take the worry out of the process. Whether you're moving across town or across country, moving your home or your office, your personal moving concierge from Black Tie Moving will work with you to design a plan that perfectly fits your budget and needs. And they're available 24/7 to answer any questions you have. Give Black Tie Moving a call at 901-316-6196 or go to blacktiemoving.com/Memphis to get your personal, no-obligation quote from the moving experts at Black Tie Moving.
Hi, this is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. The holiday season should remind us that faith and family are the most important things in life. And we hope that you succeed in coming together this holiday season with those you love and in the process creating some generational memories. Holidays have this magical power to magnify small things to ever greater memories over time. What a return on investment. Happy holidays.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Memphis attorneys. 5100 Poplar Avenue, Suite 2932, Memphis, Tennessee, 38137.
Paid for by Cordell & Cordell.
The season has changed. You know how I know? It's finally here, the Family Leisure Christmas Sale. Excellent deals on pool tables, shuffleboards, and saunas. Oh, we're just beginning. Tired and sore from shopping? Check out the huge selection in stock of hot tubs and massage chairs. Oh, and you can surprise the kids with the best stuff, like a new arcade, a game table, even a play gym. Gifts for the whole family to enjoy and enjoy together. Also on sale, theater seating, outdoor kitchens and grills, patio furniture, and fire pits. Merry Christmas from our family to yours. That's Family Leisure of Memphis. Every year we wait. They always deliver. They've done it again. The Family Leisure Christmas Sale is happening at I-40 and Whitten Road. That's 2120 Whitten Road to be exact. That's the place of shopping heaven. Family Leisure, where family and fun all come together.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning, MPD on the scene of a couple of non-injury accidents. Traffic still looks good for the most part here on 55, coming up through DeSoto County all the way up into South Haven. Plenty of radar out here this morning. You're going to see a lot of that over the next couple of days. Weimer's Jewelry, located 7525 Highway 64. They are your Valentine's Day headquarters. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
Don't you just love it?
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Happy Friday, everybody. Happy New Year. We will not have a show on Monday. We'll be back on Tuesday to usher in 2024. And happy AutoZone Liberty Bowl Day, as the big game will take place starting at 2:30 this afternoon at Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium, the Tigers and Iowa State. But now it's time to talk about the Tigers basketball team, and we do so with the professor, Matt Dillon.
It's time to talk Tiger hoops. It's the Tiger Basketball Report with Tigers radio analyst Matt Dillon. The Tiger Basketball Report is brought to you by Central Barbecue, La Guadalupana, Car Corner on Mount Moriah, Dave & Buster's, Coletta's, Ben Swanger Glass, and Los Cabos on Summer Avenue. Now, here's Matt Dillon with Greg and Eli.
Matt, I know today it's all about football for the Tigers, but tomorrow, back at it, the Tigers basketball team now ranked 19th in the country. Good to have you on. How you doing?
I'm doing great. End of the year with a double dip here for both of us. And let me say one thing, Greg. I pass on my snowshoes and warmers to you being on the sideline. I was there the last Liberty Bowl, and my feet were like, I just put blocks of rocks trying to walk around. It was tough.
Like, I'm already anticipating my nose starting to run. Like, I already feel like it's already starting to run. Yeah, it's going to be quite cold today. But tomorrow night it'll be indoor. It'll be 72 or thereabouts at FedEx Forum. The game last Saturday against Vanderbilt, and to a certain extent you can understand they're getting ready to hit the road, to go back and see family, that maybe they weren't 100% into it. Then on the same token, Vanderbilt's in the same situation, and they seem to play extremely well. Is this the type of game, because they came away with the dub and didn't have this bad loss, that is good for them?
Oh, I think it's a wake-up call. Absolutely. There's no question about it. It gives the coaching staff something to talk about when they got back together after being gone for, 2 or 3 days or whatever. But, yeah, it's a game that'll get your attention, and you got to understand it. Gosh, you got guys that, some of them have been here before and some haven't been here before. They've gone into one town or another and, going to see relatives, whatever, and they're all they're thinking about is getting on that airplane and getting out of here for a little time off. And I think that's part of it as well. And, it's been a pretty good schedule, pretty difficult schedule. They played, obviously, early in the year. And now, Vanderbilt comes in. Team's supposed to be really good, 4-7 when they came in. Played outstanding game for them, no question about it. But I think that affected the team a little bit. And also, I think, too, sometimes you got to have a little stinker in there a little bit every now and then. It seems like I don't care how many guys you have or not, and just weren't ready in tune to play. Basically, I know coaches gonna say, "Oh yeah, they were," but we know these guys' ages. They see things and they read, publications about what teams are, how good they are or not or whatever. It affects them a little bit, but I think getting back and starting first with Austin Peay will be a good game to get this thing back. They practice a lot now with school being out, so I think things will turn around. The problem they're going to have to me is looking at the schedule in January. I'm telling you, fellas, I don't know. It's like I think one of the difficult things, and I mean, interrupt you, but one of the difficult things I think for this staff is me getting this team up for some of these games in January, because it's just not a murderer's row schedule in January, to say the least.
Well, we talked about it last week with the Vanderbilt game. I mean, it's a game that you could understand where guys wouldn't be ready to go for that. And then, yes, this conference schedule overall, it's tough. Like you said, I mean, kids understand. They look at it, and they can look at records and everything else, and it can be hard to get the attention of some 18, 19, 20-year-old kids to try and get them to play really hard when they just feel like all they got to do is go out there on the floor and they're probably going to win the game.
Yeah, they get that attitude a little bit, and it's natural. I mean, I did it back when I played. I mean, I did it with the teams. It just happens to you. But the thing about it to me is coming back in with the attitude, it's got to be right, because this is a challenge for this team to get up. And the problem you're going to have if they blast 2 or 3 teams early, I mean, this is going to be a breeze, and I think that's one of the things that's going to be difficult. This is when your guys like Quinterly, your upperclassmen, you have to come in and say, hey, guys, look now, it's not the way it is. We've got another piece in place now with Tomlin in there, and I think you've got to incorporate him in as well. But the potential certainly to be very good is there. I just don't know as a coach, and I did it in high school, Eli and Greg, coaching some. You do everything you can, but these guys have a mind of their own. So that's one of the things you'll have to face. But I think making the turn into conference play, certainly you get some different teams, some teams you haven't seen, maybe, in a year or so. Hopefully that'll kind of kick them in the rear end a little bit and get them ready to play for some of these games.
Well, the other thing is that they accomplished what they needed to accomplish. We talk about it like a broken record year in and year out, Matt, that, they had the opportunities early in the year with that big tournament they always play around Thanksgiving, and they lost 2 of the 3. Or they lost a couple of these big non-conference games. And I know they won some certainly as well. Last year they won a few of them. But this year they took care of business. So they have to have this renewed enthusiasm, knowing that if they do what they're supposed to do in the conference, that they could be a really high seed. They're not looking at a 7-10, 8-9 game again. So that's incentive in of itself, just to know that you've already accomplished it. You don't want to give it back now by having bad losses.
Yeah, you're right. There's 2 things. You're exactly right about that, and that's a great point. But then think about this now. Also you got to understand that schedule was tougher what it's going to be. So they accomplished that. Don't be just satisfied with that. I think that's the thing you got to look at, guys, in this, because now you're going back into conference play. You can't afford a loss to somebody that's way up in the net. That's what you have to protect. If you happen to lose a couple of these games, which you shouldn't, but when you're looking at the squads, that net's going to really start getting a hurt. And it already dropped for Vanderbilt. It went down about 10 right there. And that loss at home, almost to them. I mean, it was a 2-point game, and against the team it was 4-7. So, it's going to be a challenge to go up and down. When you start getting in conference play, everybody's pretty familiar with you a little bit. Although we go to Tulsa, they got a brand new team almost. I mean, they got like 3 guys back from their team last year. They have no quad 1 or 2 wins thus far. They won 10 games, but they're 192 in the net. So, I mean, they beat some teams, but really didn't do them much good in the net ranking. So there's the thing you get into them. And all these guys, SMU could be a game maybe that's a little dicey, I guess. They're 50-1, but the rest of them in January, you look at it, it's going to be really difficult, Greg and Eli, to spur this team on. That's where they got to get together as well. As the coaching staff are part of it, it's the players themselves. They've got to get themselves, and sometimes you go in somewhere like North Texas, but you just got to generate your own momentum and take care of business. That's a hard thing to do.
Tiger Basketball Report brought to you by La Guadalupana, Central Barbecue, Ben Swinger Glass, Coletta's, Car Corner on Mount Moriah, Dave and Buster's, and Los Cabos. So what did, obviously Naquan Tomlin comes in, he fires the 3 right away, hits that, place goes nuts. What were your impressions of his first game on the court with the Tigers?
Well, the ability is obviously there, you could tell, and I got to give him credit for this. He wasn't bashful. He took that first shot, and is that a better script written anywhere than that? I mean, he guns it down, and the place goes crazy. But a lot of potential for him. Certainly, as we go along, his minutes are going to come up. There's no question about it. Now, I think one of the big things you ask yourself, maybe in the second part of the season, will this affect David Jones any? Number of shots for him? Will things like that, because he's having to carry the scoring right now. He's got an All-American stance right now, the way he's playing. But, when you've got another guy like Nick Tomlin that can score, you're going to swing the ball around. Will he get shots? A guy like Caleb Mills, is he going to be able to have opportunities as well? He's 2 of 8 against Vanderbilt. Walton's another guy that's dinged up a little bit right now. He really struggled in the Vandy game as well. The roles will be redefined a little bit, Eli, now with Tomlin in the lineup. So how much is Danvers going to play? There's questions that have to be answered because the nucleus of the lineup was there. Now you add another guy in there, inject him in there. That thing has to be settled out, no question about it. But I think it'll be interesting to see how that goes in the second half. And one thing I don't want to see, and I don't think this team will do, I don't want guys to get selfish for points, because some of these teams, you're going to blow them out, you're going to be way in front. Just go with the flow and let this thing, it's a team effort. So, don't worry about, me getting 28 one night and the next night I get 14 or whatever. You're going to have to gel and mesh as a team. And the good teams are able to do that. And for the most part, this team has done that thus far. I think there's something to watch as we go in the second half and go into conference play.
Yeah, Matt, do you expect to see, and I guess it would depend on who they're playing, but Tomlin and Dandridge at times playing together, or do you think basically it's Tomlin or Dandridge on the floor?
I don't see a lot of them there together. I mean, I think in situations maybe you could, though. I mean, because there's nobody with the front line on this a wrestler schedule except FAU.
Right.
That's going to give them a lot of trouble. Now, you could use the foul trouble, things like that. Yeah, I mean, they could coincide, obviously. And, Dandridge is going to be back inside more. And, of course, you got, Tomlin be up on the area, top of the keyhole or whatever. But, yeah, I don't see a lot of that, Greg, unless, there's injuries or other things. Because you got Jourdain, too. I mean, he can play the 4 or 5, so he's a very multiple player. So I don't think you'll see those roles change very much. But healthy is going to be another thing. You got to stay healthy the second half of the year. Like Walton's right now, his ankles bother him a little bit. You really could tell it in the Vanderbilt game. 2 of 10, 0 of 6 from 3. Really struggled shooting the ball, and he wasn't 100%. So keeping guys healthy is going to be very important going down the stretch as well. And the roles are getting pretty well established, guys. There's going to be 8 or 9 guys playing most of the time. So if you're somebody on that bench, you try to get in that 8 or 9 slot, you got to come out and you got to do something when you go into the game.
Now, we had Andy Borman on, as we do each week on Wednesday, and I asked him about Walton, and he said he's got to shoot himself out of it. Now he's talking about, in practice putting the work in. But a guy's 1 for his last 27 from three-point range. When do you tell him to quit shooting?
I don't know. That's a good question. You would think so, but, yeah, I mean, it's crazy. Basketball's a nutty game. I mean, things just happen like that. But I like his potential, man. I tell you what, he is agile, and Tomlin, he's got a lot of ups to him. You can tell he's a very seasoned guy. He's going to go to the glass very well, and he is a problem and a load for people inside the way the Tigers have that firepower. They're going to be very hard to beat in league play. It's going to be very interesting to see how this thing shakes out.
The game tomorrow, obviously Austin Peay, not a great opponent. Now, they do have a great player who's putting up some crazy good numbers, although he doesn't shoot threes, which is amazing in today's basketball.
Isn't that nuts?
To put up the numbers and hasn't made a three-pointer
He's
as a guard.
over 10.
And then they also have Hansel Emmanuel, which is a great story. Obviously, the Tigers recruited him at one point, who's the kid who's missing one arm. So certainly an interesting story there. But DeMarcus Sharp certainly is a kid who, I mean, his numbers are just bizarre, really, when you look at him and a kid to not make a three-pointer.
They are incredible, no question about it. Very active guy. He sets the table for him. There's no question about it. He's not bashful. There's not a shot he doesn't like. He's going to take. But he's got a great assist-to-turn ratio. I mean, the whole team, Gibson wiped out Northwestern State. I mean, he took 6 guys up there.
He took 8 staff members, too. Matt, you know that. He took 8 combination assistant coaches and staff members and 6 players. He took the whole program.
He did. He wiped them out. There's no question about it. And they played together, which I guess is a smart move. I mean, the way the portal is right now, you can do it. It's one of those things. That's where this thing has changed so much in football and basketball. You just don't know from one, semester to the next who's going to be playing almost. It's crazy. But, yeah, this is a team that, they're a decent club. They picked 7th or 8th in the Atlantic Sun. I mean, they're not a team that's, in net they're not very good or whatever. But a team that can scare you because they can score a little bit, and they got a couple of guys that can bother you at the guard position. So that's one thing you got to remember. To come out and you're playing Austin Peay, but still you got to be ready to go. And this is the last pre-conference game, so Austin Peay is going to be a very important game to see. They're going to come in ready to play now. With the connection with Coach Lewis, Daniel on the team, they're going to come in.
Rodney
ready to play.
Hamilton. Rodney Hamilton's on the staff. There's a lot of connections. To Memphis. Okay, final thing for you, and I know there are new schools, new programs in the conference this year, and I'm not sure if you've been to all the gyms, but who do you consider right now to have the toughest, and again, Memphis is superior to like all of them, I understand that, but who would you consider the 2-3 toughest schools as far as their arena for Memphis to go in and get W's? Like I said, they're going to be the favorite. They're going to win the bulk of them. But who would be the 2 or 3 you would put up as the toughest? Maybe the biggest challenge they would face?
Well, I think obviously Tulane is one of them because it's a cracker box place. Now, they're 8-3. They've been a little disappointing thus far this year. We've had trouble down there in the past a little bit. I think that's a place you have to look at. Wichita State can be real loud. Now they're 103 in the net, 8-4, a team that has got some pieces that can bother you as well. SMU, it's a smaller gym. They're 51 in the net. They're 9-4. They are, leaving the league, and they're probably going to have to be whipped up when the Tigers will play them. So we'll see about that one. Those are the, Charlotte, it's been a long time since it's been there. Right. Very tough. East Carolina, obviously, is a small place, but gosh, they've won 7 games, and they really haven't beaten anybody either. So, no quad 1 and 2s. And I'll tell you guys, I look down at quad 1s and 2s for this league. There's sure not very many of those.
Not at all.
Ledger.
Not at all.
That's the problem.
All right, Matt, I know, as you said, double duty. Got work today for the football game, and then, of course, tomorrow you'll be on the call with Wolo on the radio side of things for the Tigers and Austin Peay. You can catch Matt each and every Friday during the Tiger basketball season talking with us with the Tiger Basketball Report. Thank you, Matt. I'll see you a little later.
Okay, I'll see you in a few hours. And, Eli, happy New Year to you as well, my friend.
Happy New Year, man.
Thank you, Matt.
The Tiger Basketball Report brought to you by Car Corner on Mount Moriah, Los Cabos, Coletta's, Dave & Buster's, Ben Swanger Glass, Central Barbecue, and La Guadalupana. Folks, if you've got a move coming up, maybe the new year means a new house, maybe it means a new office, maybe whatever it is, and you've got a move coming up, well, you want the professionals to help you, and that would be Black Tie Moving. 901-316-6196, 901-316-6196, or you could go to blacktiemoving.com/Memphis. Talk with the folks at Black Tie. They'll work with you coming up with a plan for your move that fits your needs, fits your budget, and they give you no obligation quote up front so you know exactly what it's going to cost. And if you need them to basically just pick your stuff up, move it, and drop it off, that's great. Maybe you want them to do packing and unpacking. Maybe you need some storage in a little interim basis between the new place and the old place. Well, hey, they can take care of whatever it is. That's again, they're going to work with you coming up with that plan, fitting whatever it is that you need. So talk to the folks at Black Tie Moving. Again, 901-316-6196, or go to blacktiemoving.com/Memphis.
An honor for a former Memphis Tiger coach. We will talk about that, plus give you our final thoughts on what we think will happen today in the AutoZone Liberty Bowl game. And then coming up in hour number 3, we'll have Brandon Lang. He'll handicap the Bowls and the NFL weekend. And then Sean Merriman will join us at 9:25, the former 3-time NFL All-Pro linebacker. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
We are Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned in to Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
It's our season of giving back at Gossett Kia on the Pike, and we've got the perfect holiday gift for you. Hit the road with 41 MPG Highway 2023 Kia Forte LXS, $239 a month, $27.99 due at signing. Get road-ready SUVs, Seat 7 2023 Kia Sorento LX, $319 a month, $34.99 due at signing. And 8-passenger seating in your new 2024 Kia Telluride LX, $459 a month, $34.99 due at signing, all 36-month lease. Plus, you'll get peace of mind with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Ask for Bobby J. He's ready to put you in a new Kia today. Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike, or online, KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 650 acquisition fee, Forte RE 699,094, MSRP 21,385, Sorrento PG 242,710, MSRP 33,010, Telluride RG 462, 2822, MSRP 38,705, includes all rebates and incentives, must finance through Hyundai, excludes tax title and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 1/2/2024, dealer stock only.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roof Services. If you need a new roof for your home or business, we hope to hear from you and will work hard to earn your business. We are experts and certified in residential and commercial roofing, siding, and gutter installation. I have been serving the Memphis area for over 20 years, and now with 2 of my sons working with me, we plan to be here for years to come. So if you need a roof, please give us a call. On a personal note, what a great time it is to be a Memphis sports fan. With the Grizzlies and the Redbirds and 901 FC, not to mention Tigers football and basketball, it's going to be a fun year. Thanks to Coach Silverfield and Coach Hardaway and their staffs for their dedication to the student and athletes, the University of Memphis, the City of Memphis, and us fans. Five Ash Roof Services, a proud partner of the Memphis Tigers and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. Five Ash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Five Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Yo, Mark, long time no see. You still down at Dyer's?
Man, I'm not down at Dyer's. I'm out at Collierville Historic Town Square.
When'd you move out there?
We've been out there for about 13 years. We've got the shops, the park, we got the train the kids like to play on.
You still cooking those burgers the old-fashioned way?
Man, we're still flattening out those hamburger balls on a slab of marble and skillet frying them the old-fashioned way like they've been doing for 100 years.
Dude, you still have those onion rings.
Man, they're fantastic. Hand-breaded, served up just right.
I loved those milkshakes. Please tell me you're still doing those.
Man, we are hand-dipping those shakes, putting them in the old glass in the shake tin, served the old-fashioned way.
You got any new items out there I need to know about?
We're just doing a lot of gourmet sandwiches. We've got farm-raised catfish straight out of the Delta. We've got some hot tamales from Pasquale's Tamales out of Helena, Arkansas.
Man, are they served in the husk?
What those guys like to say, they're so good, you'll suck the shuck.
Go see my buddy Mark at Dyer's Cafe in Collierville's historic town square.
Roofs, roofs, and more roofs. Chris Price here with Metro Builders. Is your roof leaking? Do you have mold stains on the ceiling of your home or business? Is your carrier denying your claim or offering a repair simply because they don't have enough documentation? You need a contractor that performs work for insurance claims for policyholders each and every day, and Metro Builders is here to assist. Call Metro Builders. At Metro Builders, we provide free estimates, consultation, and claim repairs. Metro Builders' process of arriving, inspecting, diagnosing problems, and estimating is second to none, commercial and residential. Our team of Hague-certified technicians are standing by to assist you with providing estimates and photos to your carrier to document your loss. All you owe is what your policy states. No large fees on top of the final scope. We use high-grade materials and are certified by companies like Atlas, CertainTeed, Owens Corning, and Mulehide with labor warranties up to 50 years on all of our jobs. Metro Builders provides roof repairs across the Mid-South. Call Metro Builders to schedule your inspection free. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717.
From brilliant to beautiful, we've heard lots of words used to describe the Sissy's Log Cabin experience, but we think one sums it up best: extraordinary. Here, you'll find an unparalleled selection, impeccable service, and an experience that makes you feel like family. Shop online at sissyslogcabin.com or stop by one of our 6 locations. Find your trusted jeweler for a lifetime, only at Sissy's Log Cabin, because life's too short for ordinary jewelry.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
To reveal the full spectrum of its dazzling color.
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Well, I guess it's a consolation prize for his team not making the playoff, but nonetheless, it is a prestigious honor. And former Memphis Tiger, now Florida State head football coach Mike Norvell, is the winner of the Dodd Trophy, named after the great Bobby Dodd, awarded each year to the FBS football coach that best embodies the 3 pillars of success: scholarship, leadership, and integrity. So congratulations to Mike Norvell.
Congrats.
Again, nice.
Did a hell of a job.
Yeah, you did a great job, and
obviously got screwed over.
Yep, obviously that's a nice individual honor, and I'm sure he would trade it in every day of the week and twice on Sunday to get his team into a playoff spot, which they will not be in. And obviously now with the bowl game against Georgia coming up, and a lot of eyes will be on that game, and probably all for the wrong reasons, because there'll be people just wanting to see Georgia clobber Florida State, who has more than 20 players that have opted out, and then point fingers and say, see, we told you. Never should have gotten in. This proves it.
I would hope that there aren't very many people that I would hope that by now people realize that it was never going to be a prove it thing one way or another. I would hope that people now realize that what Florida State's playing with. I don't think anybody will say that. Now, there might still be some idiots, but I would hope there are very few of those idiots out there.
Yeah, I think there'll still be.
Raider Corey texts us, I usually play some small wagers on bowl games. I'm no longer interested in just donating. These games are terrible and just a crapshoot. Can't wait for the real games to start on January 1st. Yes, again, I will. If you are betting on the bowl games, you're doing so at your own peril. Now, you can find some. You might be able to find some that are, because of opt-outs and things, like you might think that the line's a little weird here because, well, this team's, Oklahoma last night I think had a bunch of offensive linemen out. Mm-hmm. So you can say, hey, wait, this is a chance. They've got a bunch of offensive linemen out. They're probably going on the brand name of Oklahoma, and you take Arizona, you get a win. There's some of that stuff there, but I have not placed a single bet on a bowl game, and I won't, other than possibly the playoff games. I don't trust these other games and the teams and whatever players are playing in them.
I'm with you 100%. I have not placed one bet either. We made our picks. Now, we made our picks kind of quick without really thinking about it, and we were just picking straight up, and I'm horrible. My picks are horrible. Nobody's good, but I'm the worst of the three of us, meaning Grader along with Eli and myself, and just picking straight up. I don't know. We didn't know all the opt-outs at that time, but even if you know the opt-outs, it doesn't always mean that team that is not dealing with opt-outs is going to win the football game. It is extremely hard to handicap. So just because the line is 10.5 today and Vegas feels pretty strong about Iowa State coming into Memphis and winning quite handily doesn't mean it's going to happen. Now, I agree with John Varlas. The line of scrimmage, right there. If Memphis is blown off the ball, it could be a long afternoon. And Iowa State has a huge offensive line, and they have those big tight ends. And it's going to be a challenge for the Memphis defense that many times this year found themselves in precarious situations, giving up big chunks of yards. Then again, they also had moments where they made big stops on fourth down and got the ball turned over to the offense and came back and won football games. It's a great challenge for Memphis. It's not just because it's here in Memphis and it's a game that I cover, but I really do believe that it's a couple of teams that care to be there, a fun little matchup, a challenge for a team like Memphis to go up against a Big 12 opponent. I hope that they play the what the renovations are going to look like, that video. I hope they play that at some time. I don't know if they're allowed to or they can or they want to. I know the school would want to, but it'd be kind of cool for anybody that's here from Iowa State and any Big 12 officials that may be here just to kind of see where that stadium is going to be several years from now, knock on wood. But as far as this game itself today, I don't know, Eli. I would certainly, if I bet it, and again, don't bet on these bowl games, I would take Memphis in the points. I would lean toward Iowa State straight up, money line. How do you see this game?
Yeah, I would. I mean, at 10, I would take the Tigers at the points, certainly, if I was betting it. I think it could be I don't think there will be a ton of points scored. And if I don't think there's going to be a ton of points scored, I'm going to take 10 points.
Right. Iowa State's not slinging it around the field. That's not their offense. Their offense is ground and pound. They'll throw the ball, don't get me wrong, but they will run the ball behind those linemen, and they are effective in running the ball. And defensively, they're not a big blitz team. They do a good job in sticking in their lanes, really good coverage. They'll drop 8 a lot. They'll make it tougher to go down the field for Memphis. An interesting name to keep an eye on for Memphis is Joe Skates, who played at Iowa State, to maybe get an opportunity on a long pass with Joe Skates, who has been, for the most part, pretty solid, but he's had times where he's dropped one in his hands on a nice pass from Hennigan, getting behind the defense, and others where he's hauled it in for a touchdown. So he's their kind of big play guy. Maybe they'll take a shot as long as Seth has that type of protection. I don't think you want Seth running too much, but I could see where some quarterback draws will come into play in this game, because usually with Iowa State, maybe a little bit softer in the middle of their defense. But again, I'm looking forward to it. I think it could be fun and a chance for Memphis to do something they've only done 4 times.
We've talked about the Tigers and the offensive linemen that have opted out of this game and hit the transfer portal. The Athletic has a story up about McKalen Pounders and his full circle now back to Mississippi State. And I did not know that his recruiting history with Mississippi State and then flipping to Ole Miss and then Ole Miss dropping him at the last second. And Jeff Lebby, who was a recruiter at Ole Miss, it was at Ole Miss at the time, and now he's going back and playing for Jeff Lebby at Mississippi State, where he was originally committed to. Now, you talk about a full circle. This is a full circle. But the Athletic has a story up about a very interesting story to see how that has worked out for McKalen Pounders and how he and Jeff Lebby now back together, despite he kind of got spurned a little bit by Jeff Lebby at Ole Miss during his original recruiting.
Yeah, with the chance now to basically transfer at the drop of a hat, there can be a lot of relationships that are rekindled around the country, whatever the situation may be, as players get those opportunities to move on. And a lot have, not a lot, but some have certainly come back and as you said, did the full circle, have gotten another opportunity with a different coaching staff at the same place. I mean, there's just a lot more opportunities for players, and I don't think that's a bad thing. Hey, if you're ready for a new Silverado, All-Star Chevy in Olive Branch has financing down to 1.9 or up to $10,000 in cash, plus make no payment for 90 days. That's a great way to start out the new year. Tahoes, Equinox, Trailblazers, they have those red tag deals on all these vehicles, plus families got to love the Traverse. How can you not love the Traverse? Got the third row seat. You got a bigger family. You can drive around the country in luxury in that beautiful Traverse. Military, teachers, college students, healthcare workers, you get an extra $500 bonus. If you want a certified pre-owned Chevy or any pre-owned vehicle, All-Star is loaded up with them. If it's not there when you walk around the lot, just ask Jeff. He'll find it for you. That's a guarantee. Kevin and Jeff want to wish everyone a happy new year. Remember, it's not South Haven, not Mount Moriah, not Bartlett or Collierville. It has to be Olive Branch. Find new roads to All-Star Chevy today or go to allstarautogroup.com. When we come back, we open up Hour 3, our final hour of the year. We'll do so with Brandon Lang. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Santa needs a new set of wheels, and he's going to Sunrise Chevy Buick GMC. Sunrise has hundreds of new and used cars and trucks. This time of the year, Santa's a little strapped for cash, but Sunrise has financing with no money down on approved credit. The home of guaranteed credit approval, that's good, because feeding all these elves, Santa's credit's not so hot. A $6 million used car inventory. Find new roads. SunriseMemphis.com. 385 in Houston, Levy, and Collierville.
Roofs, and more roofs. Chris Price here with Metro Builders. Is your roof leaking? Do you have mold stains on the ceiling of your home or business? Is your carrier denying your claim or offering a repair simply because they don't have enough documentation? You need a contractor that performs work for insurance claims for policyholders each and every day, and Metro Builders is here to assist. Call Metro Builders. At Metro Builders, we provide free estimates, consultation, and claim repairs. Metro Builders' process of arriving, inspecting, diagnosing problems, and estimating is second to none, commercial and residential. Our team of Hague-certified technicians are standing by to assist you with providing estimates and photos to your carrier to document your loss. All you owe is what your policy states. No large fees on top of the final scope. We use high-grade materials and are certified by companies like Atlas, CertainTeed, Owens Corning, and Mulehide with labor warranties up to 50 years on all of our jobs. Metro Builders provides roof repairs across the Mid-South. Call Metro Builders to schedule your inspection free. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717.
It's our season of giving back at Gossett Kia on the Pike, and we've got the perfect holiday gift for you. Hit the road with 41 MPG Highway 2023 Kia Forte LXS, $239 a month, $27.99 due at signing. Get road-ready SUVs, Seat 7 2023 Kia Sorento LX, $319 a month, $34.99 due at signing. And 8-passenger seating in your new 2024 Kia Telluride LX, $459 a month, $34.99 due at signing, all 36-month lease. Plus, you'll get peace of mind with Kia's 10-year, 100,000 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Ask for Bobby J. He's ready to put you in a new Kia today. Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike, or online, KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 650 acquisition P Forte RE 699,094 MSRP 21,385. Sorrento PG 242,710 MSRP 33,010. Telluride RG 462 2822 MSRP 38,705. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax title and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 1/2/2024. Dealer stock only.
Experience the taste of Italy at Little Italy's newest location in East Memphis at Massey and Poplar. Little Italy has great Italian food with all your favorite dishes, from lasagna, rigatoni vodka, Alfredo, even lobster ravioli. Try Little Italy's very generous hot calzone, stuffed with your choice of meats and melted cheeses. East Memphis Little Italy wants to spoil you with a piece of Italy you can feel, taste, see, enjoy, and eat. East Memphis Little Italy, hidden in the back at the corner of Massey and Poplar.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus of Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
Sports 56 traffic brought to you by Curfew.
Enjoy the ultimate dining experience at Curfew with specials every night. Mississippi Monday, Tuesday Ladies Night, Wing Wednesday, and Thursday Hotel Guest Appreciation Day. Curfew American Tavern Craft Cocktails, your new destination. 164 Union Avenue, main floor of the Canopy Hotel.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. So far, so good as far as accidents causing you to have to take an alternate route. A little bit of volume just in the last few minutes on 385 Billmore Parkway coming from Collierville headed towards 240. Holding up right now, I-40 westbound. We've checked it from Germantown Parkway all the way up to Sycamore View Road. Weimer's Jewelry 7525. Highway 64 is your full-service, family-owned jewelry store right here in the Memphis area. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
Oh, yeah.
Now back to Sports 56 mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Acura of Memphis.
Witness the power.
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
I've been roaming around, always looking down at all I see.
Welcome into hour number 3 of Sports 56 Mornings, the final show of 2023. And our third hour is brought to you each and every day by the folks at Acura of Memphis. You could go over there and end the year in good form by buying a great new car or maybe a pre-owned vehicle from the folks at Acura Memphis. The end of the year, always a great time to buy a car, and Acura Memphis will take good care of you. Great selection of new Acuras, pre-owned Acuras, including the certified pre-owned Acuras, plus other pre-owned vehicles that you'll find on the lot at Acura of Memphis. And always great people to deal with who will make it a great car buying experience every single time you go see them. So if you're looking to end 2023 with a new vehicle, go see the folks at Acura of Memphis. They're on Ridgeway right there at the intersection with 385. You can also find them online, get a lot of information about all the different Acura automobiles at the website at acuraofmemphis.com.
Still may be a little drizzle out there, but it's tapering off. I'm looking at the hourly forecast, and it should be done sometime this hour. So I don't anticipate, at least from the forecast I'm looking at, any precip during the day today. But temperature-wise, I don't know if we're reaching 40 today. It looks like 38, 39 degrees, somewhere in that neighborhood. At kickoff for the AutoZone Liberty Bowl game, looking at 39. Gray and cloudy with winds at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. So again, as long as it's not raining out there, bundle up, wear a couple of layers, and support the game if you can.
Well, good luck on the no rain, because looking at the radar, it's...
I don't see it, though, on the one I'm looking at. It just says cloudy, cloudy. Oh, yeah. So what do you see?
I see more rain coming and snow and whatever. Hopefully it's out of here by. Hopefully it's out.
Armageddon? What are you
Hopefully it's
talking about?
out of here by 2:30 this afternoon. I don't know if there's going to be any more behind it. This stuff should be gone by 2:30, but hopefully there won't be any more stuff popping up as we go along.
Well, hopefully it doesn't roll right through Memphis. And
I really just hope it doesn't rain between like 1:45 and 2:15. That's the only time I'm out in it, so I don't care.
You don't care. You don't have any passion for me.
I care about myself only. I've got to be outside for a while today. I'm hoping it's not raining during that period.
I got a feeling if it's raining when the guy says, from Sports 56 WHBQ, Eli Savoy, and nobody is there.
There's that chance as well.
The ghost of Savoy.
People won't even know because all they're going to do is show my picture on the board anyway.
I've done that a few times for you, subbing for you, and then you've done it, and other people have done it. We are always on. Is there a rhyme or a reason like what side we're on? It always seems like we're on the.
No, that's always random.
Is it random? Okay, I was going to say it's always on like the Big 12 side.
No, it's always random. And somebody had texted in about the Arkansas East Carolina bowl game, and that I did this for that game, and that was without question the coldest I've ever been.
That's the one I talk about.
Since I lived in Memphis.
Yes.
Was down on the field before that game. Where they said walk out on the field, I didn't know if I could. Because I didn't know if I had feet at that point. They were gone. My feet were gone. For all I knew, there was nothing there. And they said, all right, let's go. And I was like, this is going to be hard for me to walk. And that day, whew, that was cold. Yes, that was I don't know what is second as to the coldest I've ever been since I moved to Memphis. But I know for a fact that day down on the field before that game was number one by a landslide. Last year when it was 0 degrees and we had that on December 23rd when the wind chill was like -17, didn't have to be outside of that. Would have been colder that day probably, but I didn't have to be outside of that. Standing down on that field that day for about 20, 25, 30 minutes, I don't remember how long it was, that was freezing.
That's the game I talk about. I didn't cover the game, so I wasn't in the press box. I was there in the stands, and my wife came to the game. And at halftime, we were gone. I would have stayed. I was freezing, but I was bundled up. We were on the visitor side, pretty much at the 50-yard line, halfway up, and like we were all crunched in together for body warmth. And if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong about the entertainment. I may be wrong about this. I keep thinking that was the Eddie Money year, and I wanted to watch Eddie Money, even though it was all lip synced. But I wanted to watch Eddie Money, and then I think we took off. I'm pretty sure I could have the entertainment mixed up, but it was definitely the Arkansas game that you're talking about. Was the coldest I've ever felt. The only time I've ever felt colder. And, as kids in Jersey, it would snow, but it wasn't this cold. You're out there, you're sweating in the snow. I covered a football game at Delaware State University. That was the coldest day I've ever dealt with because I had to shoot my own stuff. It was myself and Pam Ward. Remember Pam Ward from ESPN? She was my weekend anchor. And I was the Monday through Friday sports guy. And we split time going out on the field. Like I would shoot some and I would run back into the van and then she would run out and shoot some. And then it was the coldest I've ever felt working, being outside. But the Arkansas game, watching that game was second only to that.
Oh, you're talking about all the time. There's many times I've been colder than that.
Well, you were in Chicago.
When I lived in Iowa, there was many, many times. So since I moved to Memphis, by 20 years in Memphis, that by far the coldest I've ever been.
Iowa colder than Kankakee?
Oh, yeah.
Is it because there's just nothing to block the wind and everything? It's just flat and there's nothing there?
Yeah, man.
I've never been to Iowa.
Wake up and like the high temperature is going to be like -6.
So again, these folks they're used to it. They're here. They're probably going to wear no shirts.
Yeah, now it's warmer today. Today in Ames, the forecasted high is higher than it is here in Memphis.
Right.
But generally, these people, this is 40. Again, the projected high of 42 today in Ames, 42 degrees in Ames on December 29th that's great.
Balmy. It's balmy,
That's
right?
great for them. They love this stuff.
We got Brandon Lang joining us in just a second. NFL Last night, if you missed it, Cleveland beat the Jets 37-20. NFL's not the easiest thing to pick, but last night I thought that was a slam dunk with Cleveland. You have tomorrow Dallas and Detroit, your Cowboys against the Lions. Dallas a 5.5-point favorite. Then a full slate on Sunday, and that includes a Sunday night game with Green Bay and Minnesota. There is no Monday game this week. And then, of course, next week will be the final week of the regular season. It's time now to talk with Brandon Lang.
It's time to handicap this week's action. Joining Greg and Eli is sports handicapper Brandon Lang, subject of the movie Two for the Money.
It's P equals P. You walk into a strip bar and you let her take your hand and drag you into that champagne room. Pressure equals problems. You just can't do it. And I'm telling you, pressure equals problems in the NFL.
Get Brandon's plays at BrandonLang.com.
There's 4 things you can't handicap in sports. There's 4 things. Penalties, turnovers, player stupidity, and coaching stupidity. What are they smoking?
Also, listen to Brandon with Clay Harbor and Cam Rogers on the Believe Podcast Network.
You're on a dating app, and they don't show a body picture. Run! Run!
Now, here's Brandon with Greg and Eli.
Brandon Lang, Merry Christmas belated. Happy New Year to you. How are you?
Thank you, boys. I'm doing great. Just sitting in New York with my girl, who's 5 feet away on her laptop. So
tell her hello from us.
I know she doesn't get to come over and give out today's, paddle game because it lost.
Well, you went 1-1. You went 1-1 because you had the 2. You went the double with the Dallas and Detroit.
Yeah. Oh my God, Dallas.
Okay, I want to ask you because I know what my reaction was as a Cowboys fan. And I know because you had that as the paddle game. When they try to hand the damn ball to the fullback on the goal line on that first drive and fumble it, what was the reaction?
Well, here's the reaction. Let's go to the play before that.
Oh, I know exactly what we're talking about.
Because if Pollard puts his head down and goes low, he scores.
Exactly what I said on Monday.
He goes low and he scores. It's not even a question.
He let a man stop him. We had a full head of steam. A man reached out with one arm and stopped him from getting in the end zone.
So he goes low and he scores. Now, I've done this job for 30 years. When I swear on my daughter's life, when he didn't go low and score, yes, it's 1st and goal at the 1, I go, oh boy. This isn't good. I go, this just isn't good. I just had this feeling in my stomach where I almost wanted to vomit about something bad happening, and the next play they fumble. Prior to that, 2 plays earlier, they showed a graphic when the Dallas Cowboys score in their first drive. They're 7-0 this year. So I'm like, man, we're field goal, we're good. Touchdown, we're good. Man, we're great. And then Pollard doesn't get in. And then the next play, as you saw him in the full. Listen, you're 1st and goal at the 1-yard line. Mike McCarthy, whoever their offensive coordinator is, when you're 1st and goal in the NFL at the 1-yard line, if you quarterback sneak it 4 times in a row, you are eventually going to get in on one of those.
You'd have to. It's impossible not to, pretty much.
Blowing what they do. Listen, when they were down at the goal line in the 4th quarter, yes, they scored a touchdown, but they tried some play where some fake handoff in the backfield and lost 9 yards back to the 11. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
They were first and goal at the 1 again.
Yeah.
And then they ran some running play where they lost 10 yards back to the 10-yard line, and then they ended up with a pass. But just mind-blowing. But, yeah, that game should have, for all intents and purposes, should have been a winner. And it just goes to show you, man, you leave 7 points off the board in an NFL game, and you're a road dog, it is going to come back and haunt you, and you can't get those points back. I've watched a game where I've had a 3.5-point dog, and they missed a field goal on the first drive. They go, we're going to need that 3, trust me.
Right.
And they end up losing by 4, and you're like, wow, that field goal. It's amazing how it comes back to haunt you. But it is what it is. She should have had another winner. She didn't. She went 1-1, though. So there was no smacking and whacking with the 1-1. So we're in very, very good shape as we head into Manhattan for New Year's.
Did you start the week off right last night? I thought that was an easy play with Cleveland.
I actually had 2 plays I liked in college. I liked Arizona and I liked NC State, and I ended up isolating NC State, and that was crushing because they're getting 3 They're down big. They come back, get it 21-19, 7 minutes to go, and Kansas State's got a 3rd and 13 from their own 20. Now, you know just as well as I do, with the time being what it is, you get a stop there. Even if NC State goes 3 and out and punts them back their 20, now you're around 5 minutes. 2 first down, game's over. And when they converted, I said, now I'm going to need a backdoor because they're going to go down and score. And sure enough, they scored, went up by 9, and there's 2:30 to go. NC State's got all 3 timeouts, so let's go get a backdoor. First play interception. Oh. Anyway,
that's bowl games for you, man.
That's bowl games for you.
Yeah. But I thought Cleveland was an easy play in the NFL, but anyway.
Yeah, I whiffed it. So sometimes you whiff it. I whiffed it.
So tomorrow night,
I should have just let her paddle me for not using Cleveland. She looked at me and said, "Why wouldn't you use Cleveland? Cleveland was an easy winner. Get over here." Bam! There was none. So there we go.
So tomorrow night, it's the Cowboys back at home, where they have been absolutely dominant against the Lions, who've, of course, been very, very good. Cowboys, a little bit bigger favorite than I thought they would be in this game. But who do you like there?
That's a burial. You're the Detroit Lions. Let me paint you a picture. The Detroit Lions are like a guy going to Vegas, and he has the greatest weekend of his life. Meets some girl in a nightclub, hotter than any girl he's ever dated. She takes him on a great run over the whole weekend. It's the greatest weekend of his life. And then he's got to go back home and go to work on Monday. That's the Detroit Lions. Clinching the division on the road at Minnesota. First time in their playoffs since 1840 or whenever it is. You're literally in the playoffs now. You won your division. You did everything you can. It doesn't now. Where you're at doesn't affect your seeding. You're not going to get the number 1 seed no matter what you do. You're just not. You're the Detroit Lions. And now you got to go to Dallas and get up and play the Cowboys, who have lost a couple in a row. You watch. Dallas drills them.
Okay. You all right over there?
Yeah, that was my coughing in the background.
I thought something dropped. Baltimore, is there a possibility for a letdown after what happened against San Francisco? They got Miami coming into town.
No, I had Baltimore Monday night. Probably one of the 1% of the world that had Baltimore Monday night. The entire betting world was on San Francisco. And if you look at Baltimore, look at their season, and look at their schedule, you can't, by any stretch of the imagination, think for 1 second that they shouldn't be undefeated. They lost to Indianapolis 22-19 in overtime in a game they led in the fourth quarter. They led Pittsburgh 10-7 in the fourth quarter. That was a crazy ending to that game.
Mm-hmm.
And they lost to Cleveland 33-31 when they were up 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter, and they had Lamar tipped off a helmet, pick 6, that got him back in the football game. You basically, really, could have an undefeated football team here. There's no letdown. They're playing for the number 1 seed in the NFL, which would be huge for them. So I'd feel much more comfortable taking Baltimore from 3.5 down to 3 than taking Miami. I still don't think Miami can be trusted. Listen, they have so many injuries that they caught a really good break the last couple of weeks with who they played, but I still can't get past the fact of what happened with Will Levis in the last 4 minutes of that game on Monday night. Mm-hmm. They can be exploited by the right team, and I think Lamar's that right team. I think this gets ugly, just like the Miami-Buffalo game earlier this year. I'm going to lay it with Baltimore -3.
We said last week, we talked about the Chiefs shouldn't be giving anybody double digits, and then they lose the game to the Raiders as they give up the 2 defensive touchdowns. Now they're a touchdown favorite against the Bengals. I just can't trust the Chiefs against anybody giving that many points.
Yeah, it's. I came on your show, if you could go back to week 1 and listen, I came on your show after Kansas City lost to Detroit. And the most amazing thing about that game was I called Detroit outright, said Detroit would go in there and win outright, but it was the first game that my girl had ever watched with me understanding what I did for a living. And Detroit's first drive, they completed a 3rd and 2, and she's like, this is just too stressful, I can't take this. I'm like, listen, there's 58 minutes to go in the game. Relax. She's like, no, this is too stressful. It was hysterical. Like, she's sweating the game in the first 3 minutes. It was the cutest thing you've ever seen in your life. And I'm like, and listen to me, I got about 140 more of these before it's all said and done. She's like, I can't take your business. It's too stressful. I'm like, can I get a Tito's and water, please? And a shot, please. Like, it was just the funniest thing in the world. I came on your show the next day, and I said, Casey's done. people don't realize that this team's run is over, and you would think everybody thought I was on crack. And it's the same thing I say over and over and over again. The greatest thing about Tom Brady was every single year he went to Kraft and said, what do you need me to do? What do you need to do with my contract so we can keep this nucleus together? Patrick Mahomes, being the little punk he is, says, listen, I want $500 million because that's who I am. Well, when you give your quarterback $500 million, you don't have any money left over to keep everybody else. And that's what's happened with the receiving core. You let Tyreek Hill go. You just, listen, I said they were done. They're done. Now they got to go on the road for those. And that's another thing. People anoint this guy as the second coming. He's never had to go on the road for a playoff game. Thank you, Jesus. Hallelujah. We get to see him go on the road and get his butt kicked. And then go back to your State Farm. Go ahead. Hey, you know what? Bundle that. Bundle that. Bundle that, Mahomes, with your State Farm. Well, we bundle. All right, go bundle the road. Anyway.
Do you against the Bengals? Do you like the Bengals to cover? I know the Bengals aren't very good right now.
I will keep. I mean, listen. I will keep going against KC every single week. Should this be the game they cover? Absolutely. But you just lost outright to the Raiders, laying 11.
Exactly. Yes.
You think we're just going to show up? You got problems.
Right. You nailed Pittsburgh last week. You talked about, and of course, Eli brought up the fact that Mason Rudolph was playing on Christmas. Now they go to Seattle. Both teams at 8-7. Both teams right in the hunt. How do you see this one?
It's funny. I think Seattle's the right side, but you look at Pittsburgh, you look at their coach, 17 years, never had a losing record, and he's at Baltimore the last week. So are they going to beat Baltimore last week of the regular season? Or Mike Tomlin has his first losing record, so they got to go in here and they got to beat Seattle because they're not beating Baltimore. He loses this game, he's going to have a losing record. Because I can't see Baltimore. They're only going to be a game up, and they can't lose that last game. They got to lock in home field. But here's the problem, and I can't play that scenario out because if Baltimore beats Miami, do they lock up the number one seed? I think they do, and in that case, they rest their starters the last week, and Pittsburgh goes in there and gets the win. So with that being said, all things considered, I think Pittsburgh goes in there and hangs around. Remember, they went out and beat the Rams earlier this year. I think Pittsburgh plus 3.5 in a field goal game.
If I'm not mistaken, is there only one home dog this week? No, there's two.
Yes.
The Giants and the Commanders. I know how much you love your home dogs. Are you willing to go with either one of those two?
Oh, my God. If the San Francisco 49ers don't put up 45 points on that Commanders defense, there's something wrong in the NFL.
Yes.
That's all I can say about that. The Rams actually opened 6.5, went down to 5.5. If Tyrod Taylor starts for the Giants, I think the Giants can hang around and cover that. I do. He's a much better fit than Danny DeVito, not Tommy DeVito, Danny DeVito. So who got benched? So my lean would be towards if there's one home dog that's got a shot, I believe it's the Giants. Now, with that being said, who would have thought that the Chargers, after giving up 179 points to the Raiders, would play Buffalo tough and cover that 12.5 number?
That's the NFL.
But with that being said, the Niners went to Arizona 2 weeks ago, laying 12.5 and won by 19. So I don't think you can fade the Niners in this spot based coming off the game against the Monday night game with the Ravens. I would say if there's one home dog, Giants, but I wouldn't touch either one.
Do you have a paddle game?
Yes, college football, Alabama.
You're going Alabama?
Alabama.
And you're taking who you got in the other one?
Texas. I think Texas wins it all. I've already bet Texas to win it all.
Really?
Ooh,
plus one. I got them at plus 140.
I like Washington. I like him.
So, listen, I watched them play all year long, and I watched them struggle with Stout. I watched Stanford put up 30-something on them. I watched them struggle with Washington State the last game of the year. They just had Oregon's number. They just did. They just had Oregon's number. Counted. I think the coach of Oregon could be one of the worst game coaches I've ever seen in my entire life. Great recruiter. Guy can't coach his way out of a paper bag. Washington just owned Oregon. This Texas defense, probably in their front D-line rotations, probably 5 of those guys are going to play in the NFL. People don't realize how good their D-line is. And offensively, they just got studs. Washington's had a great year. But I think Texas, listen, if you go into Alabama and beat Alabama, you don't accidentally do that. You got athletes. You got studs. And listen, my girl's from Alabama, so we're definitely using Alabama as the paddle game.
All right, final thing. And I know bowl games are just they're tough. They're tough to handicap. But Ole Miss is getting 4.5 against Penn State in the Peach Bowl tomorrow. I love Ole Miss. I know they laid an egg last year in the bowl. Any thoughts on this one? Have you looked at this one at all?
I'll tell you this. Anytime you can get an SEC team plus points in bowl games, you take them. Simple as that. You don't even think about it. Don't even handicap it. Anytime you get an SEC team getting points in a bowl game, you take them. Anytime you get a power conference school playing a lesser school, Duke against Troy. Duke was getting 6.5. ACC versus the Sun Belt. Who won the game? Duke. Anytime you get the power conference team getting points against the lesser conference, you take it. You just do, and you don't even handicap the game. You just take it. Simple as that. Another case in point. USC out of the Pac-12, playing Louisville. What do? USC plus 4.5 wins the game outright. Just the lesser conference. It was the favorite. Take them. I would take Ole Miss. I don't trust James Franklin as far as you can throw. And by the way, I don't see how Memphis doesn't cover tonight, getting 10.5 basically on their home field.
All right.
Yep.
I know Iowa State's been good, but I like Memphis plus the points as well.
Happy New Year to you and your lovely gal. Enjoy the New Year's Eve festivities, and we'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, boys.
Thank you, Brandon. Brandon Lang. BrandonLang.com is the website. Check out his podcast as well. The Crazy Coop's got everybody excited for the new year. In fact, do yourself a favor. Go order a tray of these delicious hot wings for New Year's Eve. You're staying home, you got a little party, a little celebration, little gathering. Enjoy the best hot wings in town from the Crazy Coop. 7199 Highway 64 between Appling and Kirby Whitten, and the Crazy Coop Express at 1315 Ridgeway off Poplar. Ask them about their Crazy Packs. Get these delicious hot wings, and what makes them the best is the seasonings. They have 29 different flavors to choose from. Absolutely out of this world, including sweet maple bourbon. The taste will remind you of chicken and waffles. 27 chicken wing seasonings, not 29, 27. And then if you like the hot, how about the Crazy Sweet Lemon Pepper Hot, the Crazy Suicide? If you can't take the heat, get the 4-cheese roasted garlic or the barbecue bacon bourbon. That's just a few of the different seasonings you can get on these delicious hot wings, whole wings, party wings, boneless wings, and delicious chicken tenders. At the Bartlett location, they got the full menu. You can get the catfish sandwiches, which are out of this world, those juicy half-pound burgers, all the great sides like the fried okra, the green tomatoes, the fried dill pickles. You can order up and pick up yourself. You can have any of the services delivered to your home or office. And again, they will cater. I talk about this all the time with the Crazy Coop. They will cater. So ask them about their catering services. Find them on Instagram and Facebook. But again, for New Year's Eve, usher in the new year enjoying the best hot wings in town from the Crazy Coop. 7199 Highway 64 between Appling and Kirby Whitten, and the Crazy Coop Express at 1315 Ridgeway off Poplar. Sean Merriman is next. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Jenkins Floors and More in Hernando is growing. This family business started up 5 years ago with just one pallet, and now they have hundreds. Tim, the owner, gets calls from people everywhere and can sometimes save them up to 50% on wood flooring, carpet, tile, and vinyl. Jenkins Floors and More helps with renovations, home building, and installation. Jenkins Floors and More, number 6 East Commerce Street in Hernando. Also in Little Rock and coming soon to Tennessee. Call 662-469-9350 for more information.
A good friend of mine told me about this awesome place for lunch.
Oh, yeah? What's the name?
Neil's Grill and Bar, where the fat man rocks. Everybody knows Neil.
Where's it located?
It's located in Yorkshire Square off of Quince.
And what's it like?
The best lunch place in Memphis. You know, like real mashed potatoes and gravy. Everything is made from scratch. Monday through Friday, daily lunch specials like Monday, baked chicken, Italian Tuesday, spaghetti, ravioli, Italian spinach, delicious fried catfish, fried chicken livers every Wednesday, Friday, Salisbury steak, barbecue chicken, or if you just want a vegetable plate, the best veggies in town.
What about the lunch price?
Meat and 2 veggies, $8.95. Meat and 3 veggies, $10.95. And veggie plate, $9.95. Big fat boy portions, man.
Man, you're making me hungry.
Come hear the best live local music at Neil's. Eddie Smith plays Sundays 5 to 9, Mondays karaoke, Tuesdays Debbie Jameson, Wednesdays Elmo and the Shades, Thursdays John Williams and the A440 Band at Neil's.
Where the fat man rocks.
All 650 acquisition fees. Sportage R723 5498 MSRP 28940. Sorrento PG 424,710 MSRP 33,010. Telluride RG 462822 MSRP 38,705. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 1/2/2024 with approved credit dealer stock only. Hey, my man Jeff Allen, what's going on for the holidays over at Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah?
It's the season of giving back at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah, and I've got your holiday presents right here.
Tell us about it, Jeff.
Award-winning SUV 2024 Kia Sportage LX, $299 a month, $34.99 due at signing. 2023 Kia Sorrento LX, perfect for your road trips, $329 a month. And the 2024 Kia Telluride LX, we got it at $459 a month, all 36-month lease.
Well, you can't get much better than that, Jeff. And all Kias come with the 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah. And from all of us at Gossett Kia South on Mount Moriah, happy holidays.
You or someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
Join Malco Theaters December 30th for the ultimate Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl experience as Ole Miss takes on Penn State. Buy your tickets today at Malco.com. It's the perfect holiday gift for your football-loving family and friends.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Acura of Memphis.
Okay, this car looks great wrapped around you,
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everybody. Final half hour for us today here on Sports 56 Mornings. It is a pleasure to once again be joined by the former 3-time NFL All-Pro linebacker Sean Merriman. He's the founder of Lights Out MMA on Fubo Sports. It's been a banner year, Sean, and I know you're starting out 2024 with a bang. You got a big event coming up on January 6th. Thanks for joining us. Happy New Year to you.
Hey, what's up, my man? Happy New Year.
Yeah, I can't tell you how much your fight series has exploded. And as I said, 2023 had to be tremendous for you guys. Obviously you didn't start that long ago getting into the fight business and extreme fighting and then taking it to where it is now as it continues to grow.
Yeah, it's been fun for us, man, because, we had a 90% viewership jump, which is almost unheard of in this business. So it's been great. The fans have really taken a liking to what we've been doing. A lot of support out there, man. So we just want to keep growing these up-and-coming superstars.
Well, next week, January 6th, another big card. Tell us a little bit about that event.
Yeah, we got a huge event. January 6th, Saturday. It'll be live on Fubo Sports, Lights Out Extreme Fighting 13. We got Gilbert Nakatani, Jake Woodley, who's a former D1 wrestler, who's also on this card. And I really, truly believe, man, we got about 2 or 3 guys that will probably end up in the UFC after this fight. So, this is a big card. Make sure you guys tune in Saturday, January 6th, Lights Out Extreme Fighting 13. We'll be live on Fubo Sports, Fubo TV.
And I know the ladies don't take a backseat to anybody. You got a bantamweight title on the line.
Yes. We got a bunch of women. You know what? And coincidentally, man, I love watching the women fight, and they just love to get after it. So, yeah, this card is big, man. Saturday, January 6th. Make sure you guys tune in. Get all your information at lightsoutxf.com.
And this one too, don't you have some amateurs fighting? A bunch of amateur fights?
Yeah, and what's different with us, and I thought it was very important, was to make sure we have amateurs that also shown on Fubo, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not a lot of amateurs get that opportunity to be, on TV, on streaming service, and get seen. But we make sure our up-and-coming amateurs get seen. So we have a few amateurs who's going to be turning pro with us as well.
What's the game plan for 2024, Sean, about how many shows you'd like to have and anything as you continue to branch out and make this event even bigger?
Well, right now we're having a fight about every 5 or 6 weeks. And what I would like to do is have a fight every 3 to 4 weeks starting in 2024. And, you know, we just jumped the top 5 most watched in football. So for us, we have to give, you know, we got to get the fans more. We got to get the people more. So I took it down from 5 to 6 fights, a fight every 5 to 6 weeks to 3 to 4 weeks. So fans will be able to see us a lot more frequently.
How, as you do that, and you continue to recruit fighters, how is it as far as right now, as this sport continues, it seemingly to grow and grow and grow, to find new fighters out there? And how tough is it to try and recruit the right people?
I actually, man, to be honest, when you have this type of viewership, the fighters are in my direct messages on social media. They are. You would think there was like some hot women, right, that would be there, but there's not, man. It's all fighters that looking to jump on Lights Out Extreme fighting, and I can tell you it wasn't always like that. So that's a big testament to what we've built.
Well, obviously you're in the fight game, but for years you were in the NFL game, and we love talking to you about the National Football League getting down to the wire here as far as the regular season is concerned. I know on the 23rd, right before Christmas, you had the Chargers playing the Bills out there in L.A. Did you go to that game?
I was there. Absolutely.
So explain to me, obviously Buffalo, one of your former teams, how the Buffalo Bills go from what they did the week prior to turn around. Now, I know it's a long trip out there and all that jazz, but the Chargers had just given up 1,000 points to the Raiders. How do you have one that goes down to the wire when Buffalo has to win? They get the win, but I didn't see that one coming, that it would be that tight.
Well, to be honest, with the change of coaching staff and Brandon Staley being fired, Giff Smith, who was my defensive lineman coach actually in Buffalo.
Wow.
And so we have a really tight relationship. And he has a lot of respect from the guys. And they went out there and played hard for him. They laid out in the line. And mind you, this is with no Justin Herbert, right? Yeah. And so when you look at that team, it shows you a lot what they're capable of, getting blown out by the Raiders the week before, and then showing up the way they did against a really, really good Buffalo Bills team. You got to look, man. It was coming from the top. They made that coaching change, which was the best thing that happened. Right, but those guys went out there and played hard, man, and that's all Gift wanted to accomplish.
For you, as a former, great defensive player and who takes a lot of pride in the Chargers, what was it like to see what that game when they're giving up 63 points and it appeared as they just could completely give it up on Brandon Staley?
Well, I'll tell you this, man. It was hard to be on social media. It was very hard to be on social media, and the biggest thing is, they're all pros, and I'll tell anybody that it is extremely hard for you to have a 42-0 deficit walking into halftime as a pro, unless the team has given up on you. And that's exactly what happened. And I'm not saying across the board, every guy, but you had enough guys out there that they're really throwing the white towel for Brandon Staley, and that showed a lot because they turned around without Justin Herbert and all these big star players the following week and gave one of the best teams in the NFL a problem. Yep. And that's what happened.
Former three-time NFL All-Pro linebacker Sean Merriman joining us on the program. He's the founder of Lights Out MMA on Fubo Sports. Going into last week's games, listening to the so-called experts, it was 49ers on their own tier and then everybody else is below them. And then the 49ers go out there and the Ravens beat them up. So now people are saying, well, the Ravens are on their own tier. Is Baltimore the best team? Is San Francisco the best team? Do you have thoughts on anybody else? Who right now, as we close in on the end of the regular season, in your opinion, is the best team in the NFL?
I think with the style of play, and I said this right before the season started, they brought in Chuck Smith, who was my pass rushing coach during the offseason, so I traveled to Atlanta. They brought him in. And so we're now seeing Jadeveon Clowney, Queen, Smith, all these guys playing the way they playing. They're the most aggressive. They're the most physical team in the National Football League, and it showed against San Francisco 49ers. And I'll tell you this, man, Lamar, if he stays healthy, I do not believe anybody can compete with the Ravens right now.
You know, it's pretty amazing, Sean, when you think about their history since they became a franchise in Baltimore. They have had so many great defensive units.
Yeah, and you know, that's their DNA, right? I don't know if you guys got a chance to see Roquan Smith and Ray Lewis sit down with the 101 film session, right? And I don't like to compare anybody to Ray Lewis. I mean, that he is the best linebacker to ever play the game. But when you sit around and you look at that style of defense and how they're playing right now, that's the closest thing to it. And as long as they're playing that style of defense, tackling, being physical, the physicality of how they approach games, no one can be on the field with them.
Are you, like, when you watch Joe Flacco do what he's done, coming basically off of his couch, stepping in, and now leading the Browns to all these wins, are you, like, amazed by that? Or do you go, yeah, I mean, the guy's got a great arm, and that's just it. You can play the position.
No, it gave me hope. I started to stretch in the living room, but he got out there. You know, to be honest, and you look around at the Jets, you look around at Atlanta, some of these teams are struggling at quarterback. It just gave a lot of people hope that there's really good quarterbacks that just need a shot, right? I mean, Joe Flacco, he's a Super Bowl champion. He's done his work in the NFL, and he just needed a shot. So if you're sitting around on the couch, one of these older guys that can step in and play, Joe Flacco, in my opinion, opened the doors for a lot of guys that are sitting out and made the NFL look at some other opportunities somewhere else.
It's pretty amazing, though, how many quarterbacks have played this year, how many quarterbacks have started. And obviously you're going to have injuries every year. It's a violent sport. There's going to be the attrition. But my gosh, it seems like now Flacco is a guy who's proven himself, right? He proved himself in Baltimore. He's a name. But some of these other quarterbacks that are getting opportunities, like they were average in college. You're thinking, man, they're running out of quarterbacks.
Yeah, and we're talking about a quarterback-driven league, right?
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, when you really think about it, you look at some of these teams that are struggling, and you see a Joe Flacco come and have this much success. You see a guy like, and I'm not saying Cam Newton could come on the field and do anything like that, but you think Cam Newton can't be a backup to Zach Wilson, right? Or somebody, there's guys on the street right now who can play and just not have that opportunity.
I would agree with that. I think Newton still, as long as he stays healthy, would be able to be a backup in the league.
You got with Flacco having this success, I just keep thinking like Tom Brady's probably like, you know what, maybe I should come back for a while.
No.
Oh yeah, Tom can do it for sure. And the funny part about Tom is that he's a guy that can instantly upgrade whatever you're doing. Right? He doesn't have to be great. He doesn't have to be the most spectacular person on the field. If you bring a guy like Tom Brady, and by the way, there's other quarterbacks like him that's sitting on the street right now that just never got that chance.
So right now, and maybe we'll get you on before the Super Bowl, but right now, who is your prediction to be in the Super Bowl?
After watching that Ravens and 49ers game, I don't see anybody that can match the physicality of the Ravens right now. And their style of football is the last people that you want to play. And I don't want to overlook like the Lions. Lions were my sleeper before the season started, but only because of how they finished up last year, the momentum, their style of football. They love running the football, playing tough defense, no turnovers, getting turnovers on defense. And Dan Campbell, man, that is my favorite coach, man. I love Dan Campbell and just the mentality he instilled in this team.
Why am I not surprised that that's the kind of coach you like? I mean, he seems like a player's coach, that everybody would run through a wall for him. But a big one tomorrow against Dallas. I'll be curious to see how they do against the Cowboys tomorrow in Dallas.
Well, I'm not so much worried about the Lions in that game. I'm worried about Dallas because they struggled to beat teams that's over 500, right? And that's been the case the whole entire season. And I know that they're America's team and they get the brunt of everything that happens, but man, they have struggled all year against really good teams. Now they beat all the teams they're supposed to beat,
right?
But I just lost confidence in them being able to beat a team that's qualified.
Well, 2023 was a big year for Sean. 2024 is going to be even bigger. Sean Merriman's Lights Out Extreme Fighting, Lights Out 13, coming up on January 6th on Fubo Sports. You can watch an amazing card from out in Long Beach, California. Sean, want to wish you nothing but the best. We always enjoy having you on, and we look forward to more of this in 2024.
You got it. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Sean.
Guns, more guns than you can imagine. That's what you'll find at Classic Arms of Memphis. Over 700 firearms. That's right, 700 firearms. Plus, of course, everything else you need from ammunition to other supplies. You can find that at Classic Arms. And you can find it 24/7 on the website at classicarmsofmemphis.com. Or, of course, you could go see them when they're open during their open hours at Classic Arms at 1740 Germantown Parkway. Whatever it is you're looking for the world of guns, for something for hunting, for home defense. Maybe you're a gun collector. They've got old guns. They've got new guns. They've got everything. They buy, they sell, they trade, new and used. You'll find it all at Classic Arms. And you'll find all of the top names like Glock and Colt and Ruger, Smith & Wesson, Browning, Beretta, Benelli, Remington, Winchester. You'll find them all at Classic Arms. They also guarantee the lowest price in town. They offer free gun inspections, free gun appraisals. You can get it all at Classic Arms. Again, 24/7. You can shop at classicarmsofmemphis.com. Go by and see them right behind Corky's on Germantown Parkway at 1740 Germantown Parkway. They're in the shopping center there, right behind Corky's Barbecue. Classic Arms.
Of course, Sean Merriman's Maryland Terrapins in action tomorrow in Nashville, just down the road. They'll be playing Auburn in the Music City Bowl. Auburn is 6.5-point favorite as Maryland does not have their quarterback as he opted out, Tungabaloa. By the way, I did look it up. I cannot believe I was right with my memory. But yes, that game we talked about, the Arkansas game, it was against East Carolina, January 2nd, 2010. Arkansas won in overtime 20-17, and Eddie Money was the halftime act. Pretty unbelievable. All right, we'll come back with our final segment of 2023. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
You already know you can listen to Sports 56 anywhere with the Sports 56 app or at sports56whbq.com. But you can also watch us daily with live video of all of our shows on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.
It's our season of giving back at Gossett Kia on the Pike, and we've got the perfect holiday gift for you. Hit the road with 41 MPG Highway, 2023 Kia Forte LXS, $239 a month, $27.99 due at signing. Get road-ready SUV, Seat 7, 2023 Kia Sorento LX, $319 a month, $34.99 due at signing. And 8-passenger seating in your new 2024 Kia Telluride LX, $459 a month, $34.99 due at signing, all 36-month lease. Plus, you'll get peace of mind with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Ask for Bobby J. He's ready to put you in a new Kia today. Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike, or online, KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 650 acquisition P Forte RE 699,094 MSRP 21,385. Sorrento PG 242,710 MSRP 33,010. Telluride RG 462 2822 MSRP 38,705. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax title and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 1/2/2024. Dealer stock only.
The Crazy Coop, America's premier wing destination, has 27 delicious flavors to choose from and counting. Like the Buffalo Ranch, a perfect combo of ranch seasoning with a little kick. Mango Habanero, sweet taste of mango followed by the heat. Or sweet maple bourbon, the taste will remind you of chicken and waffles. And that's just 3 of the amazing 27 chicken wing seasonings that you can get at the Crazy Coop in Bartlett at 7199 Stage Road. And now open, the Crazy Coop Express at 1315 Ridgeway off Poplar. Some like it hot. How about the Crazy Sweet Lemon Pepper Hot or Crazy Suicide? Can't take the heat? Get the 4-cheese roasted garlic or barbecue bacon bourbon. Ask about the $9.99 lunch special. Now those are some crazy good prices. The Crazy Coop, 2 locations, 7199 Highway 64 between Applin and Kirby Whitten, and 1315 Ridgeway off Poplar. Family owned and operated, The Crazy Coop, America's premier wing destination.
As the weather gets colder, the NFL offers Stay Hot on FanDuel. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 moneyline bet. That's $150 if your team wins. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get in on the action. The app is so easy to use. There's a wide range of betting options, spreads, player props, over-unders, and more. I like putting parlay bets together, hammering the overs, and anytime player touchdown bets always have me on the edge of my seat. So if you're ready to do the same, visit FanDuel.com/win and kick off the NFL season. That's FanDuel.com/win. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL.
21 plus and present in Tennessee. First online real money wager only. $5 pregame money line wager required. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call TN Redline 1-800-889-9789.
You ready to end the year with some money in your pocket? We got it covered at Gossett Mitsubishi's Mitsubishi Motors year-end sales event. Get to the Pike for the award-winning 2023 Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV. 420 total range MPGE, $299 a month. Get ready for your road trip in the 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander Sport. Buy for $27,000 or just $399 a month. And cool has never been cooler than in a 2024 Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross. We got it at $30,700 or $499 a month. And no worries with Mitsubishi's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. So get to Gossett Mitsubishi today at 1870 Covington Pike. Gift wrapping available. You want it, we Gossett. Shop online anytime at MemphisMitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
PHEV PZ06203 MSRP 44,355 Sport RU 001136 MSRP 28,000 Eclipse RZO 12051 MSRP 31,700 includes all rebates and incentives PF 695 excludes tax title and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month. Dealer stock only.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Acura of Memphis.
Get them to sign on the line which is dotted.
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Gonna put the world away for a minute. Pretend I don't live.
Yeah, this afternoon, you got the AutoZone Liberty Bowl, 2:30 kickoff with the Tigers and Iowa State. Tonight, the Grizzlies in action out in L.A. against the Clippers. Hopefully, Ja will be back and everybody will be healthy for that one. Late night tip-off there with the 9:30 start time. Tomorrow night, Tigers will be in action down at FedEx Forum against Austin Peay. I've got 4 tickets for that game that I will give to caller number 4. Caller number 4. 4 for 4. It's a 4 for 4 special. Caller number 4, 4 tickets for the Tigers Austin Peay game tomorrow night down at FedEx Forum. 360-8255. 360-8255 if you want 4 tickets for that game. If you're not going to that game, you're not going out to the AutoZone Liberty Bowl game, you want to watch those games, you want to watch the Grizzlies tonight out on the West Coast, well, great place to do that. That's East Coast Wings and a Grill. Plenty of TVs to watch all the games, whatever's on, all the bowl action, all the college basketball, all the NFL, everything you can imagine, it's always on at East Coast Wings and Grill. And while you're there, you can enjoy great food, great drinks, just a great time and have fun while enjoying all of those games. 60 different flavors of wings to choose from, plus all kinds of other great items on the menu. 24 draft beers on tap, plus anything else you want. 3:30 till 6:30 is happy hour, so the AutoZone Liberty Bowl today, that's going to be going on right in that sweet spot of happy hour this afternoon. You can enjoy 2-for-1 draft beers, bucket specials, and all that while watching the Tigers play Iowa State in the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. East Coast Wings and Grill, located off Highway 64. Kate Hyde Boulevard runs right between Lowe's and Walmart. That's where you'll find them. East Coast Wings and Grill.
We do have our winner of the Tigers tickets. Congratulations. Thanks for all those who tried but came up a little bit short. And while we do have a couple of minutes, do want to thank everybody for another terrific year here on Sports 56 Mornings, here on Sports 56. Just we appreciate it, man. We really do. You listening, even those who don't call in or text in, that's fine. That's your prerogative. We just love that you're there, that you're listening to the show. So many positive comments have been made over the years about our program and about our station. We've been around a long, long time. We try to bring you as much entertainment and information as we can via the sports world, and we thank you for being there for us. We always appreciate it. By the way, no 10 in a row today. We'll get back into 10 in a row in 2024. So again, the Tigers today, they are 10.5-point dogs against Iowa State. They'll kick it off just after 2:30. And the Tigers with an opportunity to win their 10th game. If they do so, that would be just the 5th time in the history of the football program. Tomorrow, 6 o'clock, Austin Peay at FedEx Forum. If you don't make it down there or make it to East Coast Wings to watch it, well, you can watch it at East Coast Wings. I'll have the call along with John Albright on ESPN+. Eli will be on the radio call, of Sunday's Ole Miss game. The Rebels stay unbeaten. We're talking basketball here. They're still unbeaten. They'll take on Bryant at 2:30. And then tomorrow we'll have the Ole Miss Penn State Peach Bowl starting with the pregame at 9 a.m. Then Lions and Cowboys at 6:45. So some great sports happenings over the weekend right here on Sports 56, 98.5 FM. Pinnacle Roofing and Restoration for all your roofing and home repair needs. If you have any issues with your roof in 2024, get it taken care of. Nip it in the bud. Call Brandon McCullough at 901-438-5084 or go online to newroofmemphis.com. Locally owned and operated, they offer financing with different plans and options to choose from, including a 6, 12, or 18-month, same as cash option. They'll work with your insurance company or out of pocket, whatever it takes to get that roof fixed or to get that new roof. They do residential and commercial roofing, so business owners and property managers along with homeowners. Give Brandon a call today. They'll come out in early 2024 and do a free roof inspection for you. They're licensed, bonded, and insured, and a member of the Better Business Bureau. You get a 5-year labor warranty on the purchase of a new roof, and all their work is satisfaction guaranteed. That includes work around the home like carpentry work, exterior painting. They can put up fencing and gutters, install shingles, siding, rotten wood repair, whatever you can't do yourself. Call the experts at Pinnacle Roofing and Restoration, 901-438-5084, or online at newroofmemphis.com. Our thanks to John Varlas, to Matt Dillon, to Brandon Lang, and to Sean Merriman for joining us on the program today. Waldo and Friends on Sports 56 is coming up next. For Eli Savoy and for Zach Boyd, I'm Greg Gaston. Happy New Year, everybody. We'll talk to you next Tuesday.
Stop.